The emperor's own son just told him to do it right the first time or not at all, and now Zhuo Fan has slipped the imperial leash to become Tianyu's shadow. But when a princess offers a keepsake and a rival calls him a reject, the steward's quiet plans are about to get loud. Leave a like and subscribe to see who gets crushed in the fallout. Fatty avoided the emperor's gaze. Father, didn't you say to do it right the first time or don't do it at all? Yes, the emperor dulled. It was wonderful news that his son had surpassed him, but for the situation to devolve to this state had him forlorn. Among his sons, he knew them all inside and out, except Fatty. Not because he was blinded with fatherly love, but because the kid kept everything too close to the chest for years and years. There was nothing the emperor could pick on to even make a rough sketch. Crown Prince's greed and hypocrisy, second son's impulsiveness, all were easy targets for his ploy. Only his youngest son never left anything out. Until the very last moment, the emperor would welcome his first two sons' attacks with open arms, having contingencies in place of course, while his third son's move would come out of the blue for sure. You knew about the Crown Prince's poisoning trick, the emperor sighed. Fatty nodded. I had planted someone in his circle, but didn't the imperial father know about it as well? With your cautious nature, the only way to get poisoned is if you let it happen by choice. What, lacking the details, but knowing the ending, told the emperor that Zhuo Fan had done something monumental to turn it around. And these were all steps Zhuo Fan took after knowing the board and its players. The emperor sighed. You had it all figured out right from the start, even my deal with Quanrong, and made plans. Few people were in on it, and they were my most trusted aides. How did you know? Zhuo Fan put on a sadistic smile, pointing at Yun Shuang. Just like your majesty, when in doubt ask the high priest. Miss Xuenger is the help Yun Xuanji personally offered me, and with a little help from my fatebreaker self, I got to exploit everything, ha ha ha. Yun Shuang blushed, her mind going to a certain event. Parish's eyes can only see fate's direction, not the details. I am fully aware of their shortcomings, and there's no way the stars would have revealed about me and Quanrong having a deal. The emperor eyed Yun Shuang but shook his head. Zhuo Fan nodded. Right, Xuenger couldn't tell the facts, only whose fate went up, went down, went bust, or struck gold, which was more than enough. Zhuo Fan grinned. The moment the Quanrong delegation entered the imperial capital, they were at the top of their game since they came for their share. Regent Estate and Zhuge Changfeng's readings showed growth as well, which was reasonable as well. It may be from being in cahoots with Quanrong or Quanrong's movements serving their purpose. And then there was the Luo clan's prediction, looking mighty flat, if I may say. Quite fair, since Quanrong didn't come for us but to give this cesspool a good whirl, and with Luo clan's shaky foundation, it affected us quite a bit. Although Zhuo Fan turned his creepy smile over to the emperor, how come your majesty's fate spiked the moment Quanrong were here, higher than the other four even? This made no sense. Quanrong and Tianyu are enemies. How can the first's arrival boost your majesty's fate? I'd never considered your shady deal, your majesty, since it was downright taboo. The slighted slip-up will have everyone in on it and your power will be revoked. I had Xuenger watch the fates many times over to confirm it. By eliminating all rational possibilities, you arrive at the answer, no matter how improbable it is. Your majesty, you just turned your back on everyone, making shady deals with Quanrong. That's when all my planning started, and I had the elders dig a bunker to prepare to fight off Quanrong's attack. Zhuo Fan trailed off. The emperor sighed. You're very smart. With Holy Maiden's help, this is the result. No need to patronize me. Your majesty is the true genius here, even though dogmatic, driving everyone away. Yun Xuanji, Dugu Zhanshan, Zhuge Changfeng, the list goes on. Zhuo Fan chuckled. Yun Shuang froze. Why you mean grandfather? Xuenger, I know old Yun's death has been torturing you. I said I'll get you revenge, but back then wasn't the right timing. Now I present you with the murderer for you to take revenge yourself. Zhuo Fan was the supreme winner here, with the title of emperor being at his discretion. And from Luo clan's stance, Crown Prince figured that no one else wanted the job, so he rushed to grab that big thick leg. Glancing over, Zhuo Fan mocked, you think it's that great fighting over a glorified empty chair? Sure is, totally. Get me on it and I'll do anything. Crown Prince bobbed his head. All he got were looks of contempt. Cough. With a violent coughing, Emperor spat dark blood. His voice was faint. Zhuo Fan, you're a smart man and know that even when choosing a puppet, it has to have some value. Crown Prince is narrow-minded. It's only a matter of time before he slips and throws everything into chaos. Ha ha ha, Zhuo Fan pondered. Crown Prince looked at the Emperor like he wanted to choke the dying old man. For God's sake, am I your son or what? I get that you won't give me the throne, but can you at least stay out of this when it's not your call who the next emperor is? Stop kicking. Just what did I ever do to you that you won't even let me be a puppet? Crown Prince blamed his fate to the point of crying. The emperor grinned. Crown Prince, it's not that I hate you, it's just that you'll fail at the job. At best, you'd have been a muddled emperor. But now, with the situation calling for a puppet, one needs extreme caution. The slightest impulse might very well be the end of you and clan. What end? Is that how useless you think I am, old man? Crown Prince had had enough of his mockery and went to the dying emperor to shake him in tears. Why doesn't imperial father ever believe that I can be a good emperor? The emperor's only reaction was to smile as his spoiled son spit like a dummy. Even as his life ebbed away, his smile never lost its brilliance. On the second floor, Zhuo Fan met an aged man laying in bed, Zhuo Chengfeng, but with how stiff he looked, it gave the impression of him being dead. Zhuo Fan quirked an eyebrow and Yu Ming fed the old man a pill. With a light cough, Zhuo Chengfeng woke up. Where am I? Prime Minister Zhuo, how has life treated you lately? Zhuo Fan smiled. Zhuo Chengfeng frowned at Zhuo Fan and then noticed Yu Ming. He moved his gaze from one to another, but the fog hadn't been uplifted. You too. What is this? Shouldn't I be dead? Dead? Zhuo Fan eyed Yu Ming. What is Prime Minister Zhuo talking about? Yu Ming explained. Steward Zhuo. The emperor sensed his time was coming and feared a world with Prime Minister Zhuo and it would stir the lands. He had me put Prime Minister Zhuo down. But since I had answered Steward Zhuo's call of wanting Prime Minister Zhuo, I had Prime Minister Zhuo fake death with a pill. Now safe and sound, I gave the antidote. Zhuo Fan nodded. Zhuo Chengfeng said, I see Sir Yu Ming is with Steward Zhuo. What has happened? With His Majesty's cunning mind, there's no way he'd leave Yu Ming alive. The two laughed. He hasn't been on my side since last evening. His Majesty had no way of figuring out our connection either. All we had among us was a transaction. Zhuo Fan grinned. Yu Ming nodded. Before His Majesty's Jubilee, I and Steward Zhuo met, to my great benefit. In those times of anarchy, with everyone going for the throne, Steward Zhuo made me a promise. I had to do just 2 little things for him and he'd have me on board, no matter how much my future actions affected the Luo clan's interest afterwards. Once he seized the world, I could use this promise to join the Luo clan, becoming the victor in this civil war. Zhuo Chengfeng gave a thumbs up. Steward Zhuo, why didn't I think of that? Not only binding the opponent, but enticing him as well. It will make roping others easier. And this method wasn't successful on just him, right? Just one other. Zhuo Fan shirked off the praise. I made promises with potential candidates. One is Yu Ming, the other being Leng Wucheng. What about me? Do I have no potential? Zhuo Chengfeng's eyebrow shook. Zhuo Fan laughed. Prime Minister, sir, has that aplenty, but in those times you were just another contender. Was I supposed to draw in a rival? That's like asking for it. Ha ha ha, quite true. Prime Minister Zhuo nodded. Yu Ming continued. Steward Zhuo had me urge the second prince into a quarrel at the Jubilee, making up an excuse to leave the imperial capital to set everything up, while also instigating the war with everyone in passing. The other matter was egging on the second prince's rebellion while he was fighting Regent Estate. Though there were many people asking me about this at the time, Regent Estate and Steward Zhuo both wanted to use an attack on the court as a way to delay Dugu army, while the emperor used it to draw the prime minister out and take you down in one fell swoop by dumping the nation betrayer on your list of crimes. Oh, the rebellion had been this old man's greatest mistake. Let's not mention it. Zhuo Chengfeng sighed. Zhuo Fan and Yu Ming smiled. Yu Ming added, after these tasks, Steward Zhuo presented me with an optional task, saving the prime minister from death. I didn't want to at first, afraid that the emperor would find out, but Steward Zhuo is just too mean, setting his sights on Hell Valley as the first house to wipe out. That's like cutting my way out. Soon came the end of Regent Estate, and I was only left with the imperial family and Luo clan. Of course, I had to listen to both of them. Yu Ming eyed Zhuo Fan with a bit of annoyance, yet the man had the same ineffable smile of a winner. Zhuo Chengfeng asked in doubt, Steward Zhuo, why do you show me such care? Ha ha ha, I respect Prime Minister's ability and wish to invite you to Luo clan. Zhuo Fan cupped his hands. Zhuo Chengfeng paused. What would Luo clan do with me when it has the invincible Steward Zhuo? I will only become a burden to Steward Zhuo. Prime Minister, sir, I was able to see today only through some shady methods. But when it comes to governing Tianyu, Prime Minister takes the crown. Zhuo Fan turned forlorn. To deal with Quanrong and imperial family combined, I had to tough it out and make a request to the demon scheming sect, thus owing them. To return the favor, I have to report to the sect, unbeknownst when I'll be back. I need Prime Minister Sir's wisdom to lead Luo clan, control the grand scheme of things, and steer it clear from disaster. The demon scheming sect. That means you've beaten Quanrong and His Majesty, all while keeping the Empire's 3 guardian sects from catching wind of this matter. Zhuo Chengfeng shook. That will spell the end of Tianyu's imperial family as we know it, becoming a puppet, with the Luo clan as the ruler supreme. Ha ha ha, Prime Minister, sir, has the same vision as me. Coming to Luo clan, sir will have the stage set to display your skills. I will not disgrace the greatest mind of Tianyu. Zhuo Fan smiled. Zhu Chengfeng paced around the room. That will make Luo clan's steward position no different than Tianyu's prime minister. And with you leaving, to whom will that fall to? Zhu Fan beamed. Prime Minister Zhuge has held Tianyu in balance for a century and knows the ins and outs. Since this position and Luo clan's steward are the same, after I leave, it will belong to Prime Minister Zhuge, ha ha ha. It struck a chord in old Zhu Chengfeng's heart. He'd been a prime minister for as long as he knew, yet had no hard feelings leaving that life behind. Calming down, he realized he could do nothing else. But resuming his old trade, he wasn't exactly used to working under someone. This made the Luo clan's steward position the best choice. Zhu Chengfeng showed a bashful smile. The moment you leave, I'll steal your position. That wouldn't be very nice. It's all fine. The steward is in charge of all clan affairs. And with an ever-growing Luo clan, those affairs will only expand. This position shall never be empty. Someone will always be there to take it. If Prime Minister Zhuge finds joining the Luo clan a poor choice, no problem. I'll just have Leng Wucheng take it. He doesn't like his current spot as a military advisor. Zhu Fan grinned. Zhu Chengfeng waved around. Oh no, that will not do at all. Leng Wucheng has been a regent estate steward all his life, seldom minding matters. With Luo clan growing into its role as an emperor in the shadows, Leng Wucheng's light experience wouldn't help in dealing with Tianyu's complicated matters. I come from an even smaller clan, yet you don't feel the same about me. Zhu Fan darkened. Zhu Chengfeng shook his head. Steward Zhuo, please don't tease. You are of unseen talent, capable of anything and everything, of immense majesty and open-mindedness. What small-time steward can do that? I don't know Steward Zhu's past, but I am confident you are a worldly talent. Prime Minister Zhuge, you sure know how to flatter. It's fine though. All I want to know is, are you in or out? In, Zhu Chengfeng nodded. Zhu Fan relaxed and presented a bloodworm. Per clan rules, any new addition needs to eat this. What is it? Zhu Chengfeng asked while swallowing. Zhu Fan would have long killed him if he wanted to. Why go through all that trouble? The wiser one was, the quicker Zhu Fan laid out his conditions. With a nasty grin, Zhu Fan's hand shifted into a sign, and Zhu Chengfeng started sweating buckets from the bellyache. Easing up on the sign, Zhu Chengfeng felt terror like no other despite how short-lived the pain was. Ha 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 this, Zhu Fan snickered. Zhu Chengfeng grumbled and whined. Steward Zhu, was that necessary? I'm just a scholar. I'm no expert and don't need these methods to control me. Ha ha ha, scholar. Prime Minister sir is too modest. You're a devious and unscrupulous mastermind. I won't rest easy unless I have you on a leash. Zhu Fan sighed. Luo siblings are neither shrewd nor tough, mere sheeps. Bringing so many beasts around their pen is all to protect them. Yet by the time I return, won't I have the pen empty from the beasts eating them all up? Giving you all a leash is within reason, ha ha ha. Zhu Chengfeng and Yu Ming shook their heads, finding no retort against this demon's logic. Cause this demon Archon is too damn right. Compound, with the emperor defeated, taking back its mansion in the imperial capital was easy for Luo clan. The streets they passed were filled with white clothes and all the stores were closed. It was a nationwide mourning for the emperor. Stepping through the gates of the compound, the guards shouted his arrival, and everyone came to meet Zhuo Fan. It came as a shock to see the great prime minister behind him. Leng Wucheng took it the hardest, not liking where this was going. Allow me to clarify, Prime Minister Zhuge is now on our side. Zhu Fan smiled. This is Yu Ming, the advisor of Hell Valley, also with us. Steward Zhu is back with more talents and with none other than the head of the Four Pillars too. His recruiting style is invincible. They all greeted the newcomers with cupped hands. Leng Wucheng opted for a snort. Zhu Fan was about to leave, and Luo clan, as a great power, needed a wise advisor in the years to come. But Zhu Fan's mind is so twisted that he got Zhu Chengfeng to join as well. It's to keep me in check, there goes my promotion. Leng Wucheng lamented. With the pleasantries over and done with, he had all others leave. Sir Leng, walk with us. He took the three tacticians to his room. Taking a chair, he eyed them. We're all smart people here and know by now my intentions. Yes, you three will establish checks and balances in the Luo clan. Kudos, ha ha ha. Zhu Fan put on a bright smile, but Leng Wucheng sighed his discontent. Steward Zhu, you had ruled the Luo clan all alone for so many years, and since I learned of your departure, I figured my time to shine has come at last. To show my skills, but you planned for two others to hold me back. Ha ha ha, balancing power is a leader's quality, especially now when the officials are stronger than the Lord. Without Steward Zhu holding the others in check with the worms, the Luo siblings would have long since fallen prey. Steward Zhu's actions are all within right. Zhu Chengfeng understood as much from their talk last night. Yu Ming nodded. These three were all masterminds. The only reason Zhu Fan could control them was through a nifty little trick, or he'd never let them see tomorrow. to say nothing about leaving them around the naive siblings. To grasp power, to establish an unshakable foothold, ha ha ha, any of these three can do it in days, but only with all of them will things keep growing. Lang Wucheng could see it, but the disillusion was too much to bear. Zhuo Fan smiled, you are all capable men. I may hold you back for safety reasons, but I will not stand in the way of your talents, instead help you unleash it to its full potential. By then you will be so busy that you won't have the time to play tricks on each other. Zhuo Fan's hand held 3 jade slips. Here is the next phase of my plan. Each of your duties are included as well. Sir Ling noticed something, but this is the final policy. The 3 read it and all cried, Luo Alliance, Luo Alliance. Zhuo Fan nodded, his eyes flashing as he revealed his master plan. The 7 noble houses vied for power for these lands. But even if they did grasp it, they'd be limited to Tianyu alone. We are now Tianyu's shadow, free of the emperor's shackles, and can go beyond the boundaries of this nation to take in renowned clans. Grow and grow without limits to become a colossus that the likes of the upper sex have never seen. The trio were dumbstruck. Zhu Chengfeng pointed out, Steward Zhuo, this is huge. By breaking down the nation's barriers, taking in outside clans, we'll become an organization outside of this nation's boundaries. We will have countless men and resources. We might even contend over the control of the Western lands, becoming its supreme power in the shadows. And only we can do it since we are this empire's shadow, out of its control. By luring the other area's clans, it won't come back to bite us and the other empires won't even notice. We'll grow so big no nation could hold us. Zhuo Fan snickered. Will the 3 controllers have the mind for petty schemes when in control of such a behemoth? The trio looked at him filled with praise. Zhu Chengfeng cupped his hands. Steward Zhu is amazing just through his ambition alone. I see it now, why you told me that your sights are on a bigger prize. It's all become clear now. My skill is indispensable in accomplishing such a great undertaking, and I would accept it without hesitation, ha ha ha. Ling Wucheng was pleased. Zhuo Fan continued, the Luo Alliance project is only known to the 4 of us for now. It will do more harm than good letting the houses, bent on rebuilding their legacy, in on it. I never want to see the same chaos like the time of the 7 houses again. You 3 are all men of wisdom. Your first task will be to turn these houses into abandoning their plans of rebuilding and become our first supporters of the Luo Alliance. The trio had the same patronizing smile. Reverse psychology can't be simpler. Zhuo Fan nodded with a wide smile. With these 3 at the heart of things, Luo clan's future is assured. I'll be going now, you can handle each other's scope. Zhuo Fan left. Lang Wucheng asked, Steward Zhuo, your mind is a true mystery. How did you come up with this project? I saw it happen. Zhuo Fan grinned. The trio were mystified. Saw it? Which clan on this continent did it? How come we've never heard of it? No one knew that the great sacred domain had the Sheng clan at its core, with all other clans in its alliance, a mountain driving fear even into sex. Zhuo Fan entered another room where 2 sages awaited. Though with their sealed cultivations, they couldn't move and could only sit there with ashen faces. It's been ages, friends. How has life been treating you? Ha ha ha, Zhuo Fan made a sign and the 2 could move. It's just that I've been a little busy and couldn't attend to you. Do pardon my lack of manners. Stop with the theatrics. As the true winner, what are you going to do? Torture us? Bring it. Heaven's sage spoke with resolve. Zhuo Fan sneered. You've got me all wrong. Have you ever seen a torture like this, letting you live at ease for 2 months? What do you call those 3 days of ghastly pain right when you caught us? It felt more like 3 years in hell, Earth Sage spat. Zhuo Fan sighed. Oh, come on, I was doing you a favor. With torture as an excuse, I kept your lives from ending up splattered under young Sanzi's hoofs. Once I got him to leave, the pain stopped and I even had you dine in style. Did you forget so soon? The 2 exchanged a glance. We did, didn't we? Ever since Gu Santong's job was over, he left Luo clan and their torture ended. What do you want? Spit it out. Zhuo Fan wasn't one who believed in charity, so Heaven's sage shouted. Zhuo Fan smiled. I hope that you'll join me. What? The 2 mocked. No way. And why not? Zhuo Fan asked. The imperial family is finished, the emperor is dead, and the fatty is just about to sit on the throne as my future puppet. What's so great about following him? Don't tell me you are undying loyalists too. Heaven's sage mocked. We're not Dugu Zhanshan or human sage. We are simply on the imperial family's payroll, so we deal with their matters. But if there's one side we'll never join, it's the Luo clan, all because you're with that little freak. What did my son do to you for you to hate him so much? Zhuo Fan frowned. Ethereal stage snorted. That freak broke our body's core 300 years ago, cutting any prospects of ever reaching ethereal stage. You tell me if hatred isn't warranted. Zhuo Fan presented a vial. That's it. See here, this is Luo clan's heaven-reaching pill, 10th grade. It mends meridians and knits bones. The broken elder Lai took one of these and was up and running within seconds. He even became ethereal. You only need to let go of the hatred with my son and join the Luo clan to have it. The two were shell-shocked. Liu clan has such a panacea. Though fear of being fooled again had the sages hesitant, there's no way Steward Zhuo will take thanks as payback for this little favor. We'll be your errand boys. We can overlook the matter with your son, but if you play with us, are you dumb or what? Your lives are in my hands. What good will it do to lie? And from how long you've stayed at peak radiant stage, the instant you heal you'll advance. You will know it once you take the pill. The sages stared at the vial and gulped. The desire was too much for them to ignore, and they swallowed it instantly. A gentle energy entered their very fiber, getting a moan out of them. A 10-meter pavilion rested on a tall peak, with a cloud dancing around it. A youth in soft black clothes sat at the table, partaking in tea, though his twisted smile ruined his good image, turning it sinister. Like a viper about to strike, whoosh, a light trailed the skies and landed right before the youth. It revealed an old man in white with golden edges holding a horsetail whisk, the very picture of an immortal. The youth laughed and waved. Mystical heaven sex Xuan Jianfeng, have you been well these years? Zai Weiyu, we hardly interact and there's nothing cordial between us. Why the sudden invitation then? What are you up to? Xuan Jianfeng snorted and took a seat. Putting on a vague smile, Zai Weiyu shook his head. To discuss important business, of course. Though it's too soon to tell, there's still one person left. Whoosh. Another light appeared and the immense power swept the peak. Even the two of them jerked for a moment there. Xuan Jianfeng cried, "Sect leader Ren, what are you doing here?" It was a middle-aged man with sharp features, his expression biting and resolute. Sparse hair grew on his chin, giving him a wild look. "Sect leader Ren, greetings." This time Zai Weiyu's evil smile turned respectful, bowing at the man. Xuan Jianfeng did the same. Grinning, the man flicked and spoke with valor. "Please, sect leaders, I've only come here to talk business. Don't stand in ceremony for my sake, ha ha ha." The two had known sect leader Ren for a long time and sat right away. Sect leader Ren took a seat as well, looking at Zai Weiyu with a cold glint. "Sect leader Zai, is what you said true? Yuan clan has the gall to play dirty tricks behind our backs. I never make light of such grave matters, sect leader Ren." Zai Weiyu nodded. Xuan Jianfeng was stumped. "Sect leader Ren, what is going on? You don't know sect leader Xuan?" Sect leader Ren eyed Zai Weiyu and asked. Sect leader Zai didn't explain it in the sending jade. Yuan clan sold 1/10 of Tianyu to Quanrong. "What?" Xuan Jianfeng shuddered, turning shocked to Zai Weiyu. "Is this true? Are they that outrageous? And why didn't you tell me sooner? I told you now, didn't I?" Zai Weiyu snorted. Xuan Jianfeng glared at him. "The punk is messing with me, calling for a meeting without stating why." These two sects weren't exactly friends, and now Zai Weiyu was playing deaf, letting him get duped. Sect leader Ren was the head of the empire's 3 guardian sects, heaven-trailing sects sect leader. By showing indifference in such a grave matter, it would only strain the relations between me and sect leader Ren, and this was where Zai Weiyu succeeded. He had forced mystical heaven sect to come without explaining anything to Xuan Jianfeng. "You didn't say a word, it would be this big." The two sects had a competitive relationship, so why would anyone come just because the other said so? But from the looks of it, the matter isn't that grave. Xuan Jianfeng wiped his brow and glared at Zai Weiyu. The youth found it more interesting to enjoy the scenery with a cold smile. Sect leader Ren knew everything but laughed instead. "All right, it's just sect leader Zai forgetting to mention. Sect leader Xuan needn't mind it. What is important is understanding the situation and its causes before settling it." Sect leader Ren smiled. "Sect leader Zai, since you found out, you must have done something before calling this meeting." Sect leader Ren is wise beyond his years. "I indeed acted the instant I became aware of it. Now everything is settled, though it will require all 3 of us if we want to take it out on Quanrong and Beast Taming Sect." Zai Weiyu explained the entire chain of events. Zai Weiyu placed a gourd on the table. "Here are the 3 Beast Taming Sect's elders' souls. We can use them to strike a blow at the Beast Taming Sect, but we'll need sect leader Ren to consider what might we get out of it." "Humph, what else is there?" "Quanrong live in the mountains and forests with rich lands, plenty of mines, and are filled with herbs. I've been waiting for ages to get my hands on it." Sect leader Ren snickered. "Didn't they want 1/10 of Tianyu? This time we'll have them bleed instead." Zai Weiyu nodded. "Rightfully so. I am in full accord with sect leader Ren's idea. We'll send a team of experts to Beast Taming Sect for compensation." "Understood," sect leader Ren laughed. "It's only a matter of time before our shares increase, ha ha ha." The others laughed as well. Xuan Jianfeng and Zai Weiyu weren't always on the same page, but were content when both sides had a bite. Though Xuan Jianfeng frowned, the foreign matter is resolved, but that still leaves the internal one. Due to its outrageous attempt, Yuan clan is unfit to lead Tianyu. We need someone else, someone to guarantee our interests. "No need to worry, sect leader Xuan, isn't the choice clear as day?" Zai Weiyu grinned. Xu and Jianfeng jerked. You mean, the Luo clan? No, everyone knows you've got their steward Zhuo Fan to join you. Making them our choice will elevate your prowess. Xu and Jianfeng, why be so petty? The Luo clan and demon scheming sect do have some ties, but it's nothing to fuss over. I'm not one to affect the sect's interests and earn heaven-trailing sect's ire over some crumbs. Do you take me for some narrow-minded and ignorant fool? Zai Yu bowed. The usual distribution was heaven-trailing sect getting a third, each other sect a fifth, and the remaining was left to Tianyu. But with Luo clan being Tianyu's representative, an extra tenth will be divided among us, leaving it with only a fifth. Sect leader Ren lit up and nodded. This is everyone's share. No matter who controls its distribution, it will be a gain for all. All that matters is paying the tribute on time and not skimming the top. Exactly so, Zai Yu chuckled and gave Xu and Jianfeng a taunting look. Xu and Jianfeng saw sect leader Ren's smile and the eerie chill behind it. He nodded too, but sect leader Ren, we now have a new representative, so what do we do with the old one? Yuan clan has ruled Tianyu for a millennium, its roots are deep. Moving against them will throw the lands in chaos and affect our shares. When Tianyu was founded, it needed 100 years to attain peace, a time during which the 7 houses were at war and the people were struggling to survive. How could the empire's resources be extracted in such desperate times? We were left with meager profits then. No, Tianyu must not fall into anarchy. Sect leader Ren said. Sect leader Zai, is your representative confident in controlling the Yuan clan and grasping the entire imperial family's power? Ha ha ha, sect leader Ren, he's doing it as we speak. And besides, doesn't he have demon scheming sect in case of hiccups? Sect leader Ren nodded. Sect leader Zai, so young and promising, I'll leave it to you. Goodbye. Sect leader Ren vanished. Zai Yu bowed. Xu and Jianfeng stared at him. Zai Yu, you sure looked big in front, sect leader Ren. But I am warning you, you better not have your representative controlling Tianyu be up to something. If anything happens to mystical heaven sect's share. Yes, Zai Yu raised an eyebrow. It's not my fault Tianyu's representative is in my court. When I took the kid in, all you knew was how to mock. Now look at what he has turned into. Well, that lass of yours hasn't done anything, ha ha ha. Xu and Jianfeng clenched his fists but opted to snort and left Xu and Jianfeng with, don't get too cocky. That kid is more than you can handle. You will be sorry. Humph, useless talents are of no danger. I like the kids with some bite, but no matter how dangerous, he still won't escape my grasp. Zai Yu snorted and clawed the air with a vicious look. We bow at the emperor's coronation. It was early morning and the imperial palace echoed with an announcement. Fatty in his golden dragon robes climbed onto the highest chair in the lands, with the officials bowing behind him. Ever since Quanrong army showed up, the imperial capital had been sealed and the imperial palace was silent. The officials had long since missed court, waiting in fear for the dire news that the empire was finished. This all became possible at the hands of Zhu Chengfeng, colluding with the Quanrong and imprisoning the imperial family. The situation was so that besides Zhu Chengfeng and his traitorous officials entering the imperial palace, the entire imperial capital was in the dark to the truth. And those traitorous officials had already been dealt with. After months of silence, the first court attendance became possible after Zhuo Fan strutted in like a winner just as the emperor died of poisoning. The reason was quite justified. Zhuo Fan hailed the banner to save his lord. This brave, loyal and daring official forewent the danger of death and marched in and saved the imperial family. Alas, no amount of bravery could save the emperor and crown prince from an unfortunate fate as Quanrong's victims. Once the late emperor's funeral came to a close, Fatty prepared for his ascension. Among the entire imperial family, he was the only candidate. Resting on the large dragon chair, Fatty's beady eyes glinted as he took on a royal air. Grandmother Long Yifei and Zai Feng were among the bowing officials, shouting, "May your majesty live a long and prosperous life." At ease, Fatty spoke with dignity. My fortune of coming out alive is all due to the protector of our nation, the greatest steward in Tianyu, Zhuo Fan, who through cooperation with the Luo clan, drove off the barbarians in a valiant effort to save his lord. Today I present Zhuo Fan and Luo clan with the awards for their bravery. The herald shouted in a sharp voice. May Zhuo Fan and Luo clan step forth for their awards. The high voice echoed everywhere and Zhuo Fan with Luo clan walked to the center. Fatty looked on heavily, his heart sinking. Zhuo Fan by himself is bad enough, but now, Fatty had accepted his role as a puppet emperor but still held some hope. From what he heard from Yun Shuang and Yangning's chats, Zhuo Fan was going to leave soon. This news brought him great joy. With the most annoying pest out of the way, Luo clan will fall into chaos. No elder of theirs will simply bow to another. No one can keep them in line except Zhuo Fan. He would then swoop in to mediate and might even wrest Tianyu's power for himself. But the current display had his hopes crushed and flushed down the gutter. Zhuo Fan walked in front of Luo clan. Among them were 3 people known to Tianyu as the greatest minds: Zhu Chengfeng, Leng Wucheng, and insidious demon's pupil, Yuming. Yuming didn't get that much attention, but Fatty was certain the kid isn't a pushover. With these 3 weasels and goddamned elites, Luo clan had robbed the new emperor of any chance. Plus, looking further back, one would see the peak of Tianyu's power. Li Jingshan, Qiu Yanhai, and other Luo clan members, and even the Yin-Yang elders. Judging from their auras, they were even stronger than before. Fatty muttered, "Brother, did you have to take everyone and leave me hanging? What am I supposed to do now that I've got no one to help me? Can it be that your majesty has other thoughts?" Zhuo Fan mocked. Fatty sighed some, but now they are gone. Becoming emperor is enough. Cheer up and be happy with what you have, ha ha ha. Zhuo Fan spoke like a true winner. His attitude had no ounce of respect, with the whole court looking at him speechless. Some loyalists even jumped in, criticizing Zhuo Fan. "How dare you speak to His Majesty with such gross disrespect? You should be hanged. Not even the nation's defender has the right to be so crass with His Majesty. And who the hell are you to blame me?" Zhuo Fan mocked. "Fatty, what do you say I should do? Such insolence to call His Majesty." I am ashamed to say it. Off with your head. Shut your yap," the fatty barked, holding his head helplessly. "Guards, take him away and execute him." The old man was dumbstruck. "Your Majesty, I am protecting your honor." "Why am I the one sacked?" "Your Majesty, the laws of the court must be upheld. Don't encourage such arrogant display," the old official raved, showing his loyalty as he was dragged away. The fatty sighed. "Truly the worst allies one can have. Are you blind? Do you not see me here yet still toot your horn? Guys like you would one day have me killed. I can do perfectly well without die-hard loyalists like you, thank you very much. All you know is to show off and act blindly. Listen up, Zhuo Fan and Luo clan's bravery is laudable, saving myself from certain death. They are the saviors of the world. I treat them with the same respect as heaven and earth. You all must learn restraint before Luo clan, understand?" the fatty shouted. The audience was chilled on the spot, with many of them bug-eyed. The emperor's words carried a heavy weight. The savior had more esteem than one's own parents. Such respect couldn't be violated. The emperor said it to honor Zhuo Fan, to make him the retired emperor. But how? A lord can revere the heaven and earth but nothing else. No matter how strong this guy is, he's still an official and can never be above the lord. Yet the emperor treated Zhuo Fan above his own kin, above heaven and earth. It left them all in shock. At Zhuo Fan's gaze, all bowed their heads. Regardless of what the emperor says, there must be something else lurking beneath the surface. But it's not our place to speak. Wasn't one of us just dragged out moments ago? One peep and your whole clan will follow. Better zip it and play oblivious. The officials sighed. Zhuo Fan sneered. The whole court had come to know of his current position, that his power would go even higher than the emperor's. It was the first step in making the emperor a figurine. Zhuo Fan signaled Fatty to continue. Though not without some hesitation, Luo clan's example of bravery for their lord and nation is a reflection of heaven and earth. They were first in the fight against barbarians, saving their lord and helping the people. I proclaim the Luo clan as the best house under heaven, holding key positions in Tianyu, managing the army, managing resources to defend the nation and help me in guiding the people. Where they go, they carry my name. The fatty slumped in his throne, spent after that little speech. The court was boiling, military and resources, all under Luo clan's control. How is that Yuan dynasty then? And he even said they'll manage the people and lands together. That's like giving someone half your home. Luo clan might be the greatest in its merits, but no way equal to the emperor. That's digging your own grave. Some of the officials were lost. What the hell is wrong with the new emperor? He just sold his fatherland. Even a fool knows to keep his stuff, not give it away. Many were bowing and ready to admonish. Zhu Chengfeng's interjection was perfect though. In management, what matters most is reading the signs. His Majesty is more astute than any of you, so don't get carried away and butt in. The officials glared at him, but his hint worked like a charm. Zhu Chengfeng has been prime minister for ages, so why jump ship over to Luo clan's side? Looking at the emperor's defeated face, they all hesitated and fell back. Something reeks of a mystery here, let's gloss over. But that'll make Luo clan the sole holder of Tianyu's power. A shift in dynasty will only be a matter of time, not that it was any of their problems. If the Yuan clan didn't care, why should they? The officials calmed, their minds dumbing down. Zhu Chengfeng flicked a pleased look Zhuo Fan's way. The more desolate they felt about the emperor, the more estranged they'd be, and the emperor would accomplish nothing. Zhuo Fan turned to the fatties, shouting, "We'll be going now." As they left, there was no one blocking or berating Zhuo Fan's uncouth manner. It was out in the open now that the emperor couldn't mess with him. "Hold on a minute," Fatty's eyes shone. "We brothers haven't seen each other in ages. I ask that you stay and have a talk with me." Zhuo Fan raised an eyebrow. What's he thinking? Palace. Fatty dismissed all his servants, except Feng Qiubai, as he walked with Zhuo Fan down a secluded path through the woods. Fatty sighed, "Brother, do you recall the time we swore brotherhood in Wingay City? I was a prince and you were a servant of a ruined clan, but look at us now. A monarch of a nation and the true ruler of Tianyu. Doesn't time just whistle by? Get on with it." Zhuo Fan groaned, making him awkward. Within a hum, Fatty continued, "What I mean is, you walk alone with me around the imperial palace with no guards. It proves our brotherly trust. Nah, you just don't have anyone good enough to finish me off. You take me for Zhu Changfeng, so weak that I need to resort to treachery to stay alive," Zhuo Fan mocked. Fatty choked. Fang Qiubai grew red too. Zhuo Fan wasn't pointing fingers but did hit quite close to home. Not even divine dragon Fang Qiubai could scratch Zhuo Fan from the shadows. The rest of Imperial Palace didn't count. He was that confident. Fatty sighed, "Brother, I know you are cunning and powerful across all the lands, but can you not sting me every time you open your mouth? I had the whole friendship speech going here to get closer, yet you dumped it all in 3 lines and ruined the mood. Get closer, fawning without reason proves you're up to no good," Zhuo Fan mocked. "Say it, what do you want from me?" Fatty's beady green eyes steeled. "Zhuo Fan, it's just us here, so I'll be frank. Does our brotherhood stand? Of course it does. Did I ever break a promise?" Zhuo Fan stuck out his chin. Fatty nodded. "That makes us brothers still, but you can't always pick on your brother. I am a monarch here. Taking my power has many implications, but you don't even treat me with respect. Could you at least spare my imperial self? Let me have something to survive with. What would a puppet emperor need power for?" Zhuo Fan raised an eyebrow. "Didn't your pops ever warn you to sit back like a good puppy? Forget about the world, or it will soon come to burn you and your entire clan. This here and now is much better, living the high life of an emperor, uncaring for its problems and taking on more serious matters like losing that extra fat. You're like an immortal, what's not to like?" Zhuo Fan patted Fatty's wobbly belly. The Fatty bit back. "I am an emperor with an ideal and ambition, not to live in obscurity. And when we became brothers, I didn't offend you, so you can't do the same to me. Now, are you going to ruin my clan for my words? Fatty, you can say whatever you want." Zhuo Fan squinted. "If I wanted to kill you all, I'd have done it by now. I just don't want to throw the lands in chaos and mess up my plans. And I still recall us never overstepping our bounds in those days. But how come you just asked for your power back? Sure, I can give it to you, all of it, though mind the consequences." "Consequences?" Fatty was erect with worry. Fang Qiubai interjected. "Empire's 3 guardian sects." "Exactly." Zhuo Fan nodded. Late Emperor's plan brought danger to his lands by encroaching on the sect's interests. If all had gone well, he'd be holding the power and the sects wouldn't doubt him. But since he failed, they've lost all faith in Yuan clan, looking into Tianyu for a replacement representative. Talking about fame and power, only Luo clan fits the bill. Thus we took all the power and benefits of the empire. In the off chance that we didn't become the Shadow Emperor, the sects would have just raised another clan and you'd still end up a puppet. It's all a matter of getting a handler here." Zhuo Fan smiled. "We're all old pals here. Your clan and mine know each other well. Shuinger, young Miss and Princess Yongning are very close. Any trouble you may have, we can help you out, being flexible too. While with some other clan, how much better do you think you'll fare?" Fatty trembled and sighed. He took Luo clan as his only opponent. Taking back his power from their grasp, he'd become a real emperor, only to find his real adversaries were those sects, always in the shadows, always in control for thousands of years. The Fatty's hopes sank. Father wouldn't have carried out the secret Pearl Order if he knew. "Secret Pearl Order?" Zhuo Fan asked. "Yuan clan actually has it. I thought the Emperor was just messing with the board to play his hand." Fatty sighed. "As the Yuan clan is doomed with its plight, the Secret Pearl Order has lost its meaning. It is an order passed on to the next emperor on the previous deathbed. It's only for the Emperor's ears and a standard of conduct, roaming dragon enjoying the pearl." "What's that?" Zhuo Fan asked. Fatty sighed. "It is a secret path Father prepared for me, to throw the pearl and let the dragon play with it. All Yuan emperors have done in the past millennium is to incite chaos among the factions in order to weaken them. We all have to pursue this creed, or create the situation if one couldn't. The War of the Houses 1,000 years ago, Gu Santong wrecking Tianyu 300 years ago are prime examples. Even Luo clan's emergence, pushing the factions to fight. In simple terms, the emperor sat on his throne enjoying the play, while unity of factions will make the throne unstable. That makes sense." Zhuo Fan nodded. "The way of rulers is all about checks and balances, impossible without hatred. Does that make the story about Wingay City's 3 ancient houses a lie?" Fatty shook his head. "No, didn't I say if you don't have the conditions, create them? To make it believable, everything had to be true. Just that, the founders' words were a catalyst, with each emperor paving the way for the next in case they didn't succeed. The 3 clans of Wingay City were Tianyu's officials once. planning for 1,000 years. Your clan is of imperial stock, two-faced and using your posterity to exhaustion. Zhuo Fan sighed. Fatty nodded. An emperor leads a solitary path surrounded by enemies. Even if an emperor is kind, it is seen as weakness and he will ultimately be put down. Yet our clan lost to you regardless. The roaming dragon enjoying the pearl has come to a close, ruined at the outrageously strong hands of soaring demonic dragon killing us all. The two kept a long stare, then laughed. Fatty said, "Brother, could you help me with something?" "What is it?" Proposal. Fatty grinned. "You know how fond I am of little Kiwi. I vowed that the day I ascend I will make her empress through any means. With the current reversal, Veiled Dragon Pavilion will look down on the Yuan clan. So I ask you, brother, to help me." Zhuo Fan nodded after a while. "No problem. I can ask them, but it's out of my hands if they refuse. If you plan on using my name to steal a wife, think again." "Ha ha ha," the great steward Zhuo's mind is a maze. "How could I ever use you?" Fatty said, "I do not want your name, just for you to help me. The Quanrong Emperor sent a letter not long ago to redeem Chuoba Taishan and the others by ceding Quanrong's most fertile lands. I can only accept it with my seal. You will have to kill me to sign it, though. I'll never do it without little Kiwi. I want to give this land to Veiled Dragon Pavilion." Veiled Dragon Pavilion would probably accept the proposal with open arms, but they have few men and the lands are at the border. They're sure to come to you for help. You have the Dugu army and can use it to absorb the Veiled Dragon Pavilion completely to achieve peace. We'll each get what we want. Zhuo Fan nodded. "Nice one. You're just as wise as your father. Be honest now, have you ever thought of attacking me?" "Never." Fatty's response was quick. Zhuo Fan stared at him for a good while and nodded. "I will help you, but leave the talks up to me. I can squeeze more conditions. I can't have you lose out with just a wedding." "Ha ha ha, to you it might be nothing, but to me that wedding is everything." Fatty sighed. "I can see my lands are forfeit, but I won't lose my love as well. I'd rather have the beauty over the lands." Zhuo Fan eyed him with doubt, though still trusted him. A shrewd man in the grips of love will never claw his way out. "I'll be going then. Goodbye." Zhuo Fan walked away. Fatty sighed. "Oh, brother, I always thought of attacking, but never had the courage." He turned to Fang Qiubai. "The Yuan clan is now entering hibernation for a few days. I don't want to do anything. Let's go deal with the last variable." Fang Qiubai nodded and followed closely. The two arrived at the Imperial Palace's southwest corner, a prison for most heinous criminals. Zhuo Fan, wait. Walking out of the Imperial Palace, a soft voice called for him. He saw Yangning running over with Yun Shuang. Zhuo Fan asked, "What is it, princess?" "I would like to thank you for defending Tianyu from Quanrong's invasion, saving our people and easing father's crimes." She made a deep bow. Zhuo Fan mocked, "Princess, you're no fool. Since I've ruined your father's master plan, worse days await your clan, yet you are thanking me. I have to. I know father was wrong in his ways, earning the ire of everyone. This was just righteous retribution. I do not hate anybody." "Of course you don't. How can your weak body hold it in? You always let it out in a hissy fit. Ha ha ha." Zhuo Fan teased, "Though I have to admire your father for the ingenious plan he came up with." Alas, fate wasn't on his side, with me and Shuenger joining hands. Things might have been different otherwise. The princess merely gave a smile and a sigh. Father's success was only for the imperial family, while the people would have suffered. "I'd rather see my father fail than watch such an outcome." Yangning gazed upon him with pleading eyes. "Zhuo Fan, could you please do something for me?" "What?" Glancing at Yun Shuang's hopeful eyes, he turned to the princess. She mumbled, "Big brother is guilty of regicide and patricide. His fate is death. But he is still my brother. I hope to see him, but I do not know where he is. Third brother won't tell me. I can only ask you, to avoid the scandal of the crown prince's crimes, Fatty said he died at the hands of Quanrong. How do you think Fatty will handle him? Life in prison or death?" Zhuo Fan eyed the princess. "If it's the latter, he must be dead already." The princess panicked inside. Yun Shuang pouted. "Well, is he dead or in prison? Beats the hell out of me. It's Fatty's problem now. Save it. Elderly told me you have spies everywhere in the Imperial Palace, watching the new emperor's every move." Yun Shuang meddled. Princess lit up and watched him with hope. Since when is Elderly's tongue so loose? Zhuo Fan admitted, "Yes, I know where the crown prince is being kept. He is in the royal prison." "See, can we go see him?" the princess asked. Zhuo Fan refused. "I and Fatty are sworn brothers. I will not interfere as long as he doesn't overstep." Yangning's mood fell. Yun Shuang glared. "When have you ever been so righteous? Humph, all I hear is excuses. Don't help us, we'll just force our way in and say it's your orders. See how those guards stop us then." "Hold on a minute." Zhuo Fan sighed in the end. "Fine, I'll take you, but you are to speak of this to no one. I want to keep an eye on Fatty for some more time. His every move impacts his future behavior." The girls nodded with a smile. Zhuo Fan sighed and snaked his hands on their waists, his right eye flashing golden. "We're off." "Ah," the two blushed, appearing in a yellow prison corridor. The girls shirked him off and watched Zhuo Fan point at the third cell. Crown Prince is there. The princess nodded with a lowered, blushing head, same as Yun Shuang. They were pure ladies. With Zhuo Fan making a move on them on the fly, they felt embarrassed. Yet the main culprit only looked at them oddly. What's with them? One minute they nag me to bring them here, the next they stiffen up. The emperor has arrived. A sharp voice echoed in the damp prison and the girls panicked. Yangning whispered, Zhuo Fan, let's leave. Third brother is here. Zhuo Fan shook his head. No, with this prison being a secret, it's the best way to test him. I want to see just what is on Fatty's mind. And if his words are true, keep quiet and don't move, Zhuo Fan urged. His eye lit up in 3 golden halos as he activated Mirage World. The 3's images warped and soon vanished. Zhuo Fan had created an illusion to house them from prying eyes. Fang Qiubai and Fatty walked over. Clang! The cell door opened and the two walked in to meet a very familiar figure, Crown Prince. Though with his sealed cultivation, his body was covered in wounds from all the torture. Big, Zhuo Fan covered Yangning's mouth as she cried. With a twisted smile, Fatty paced before Crown Prince. Big brother, I've been a bit busy as of late with father's funeral and my ascension, so I couldn't see you. Crown Prince's pale face sized Fatty's new golden threads with a feeble gaze and he mocked. You fat pig, clothes do not make you an emperor. To think I fell to your hand, you sure kept it to yourself. Ha ha ha, I had to play the uncouth boor, endure with humility under fake civility, or you'd spare nothing to get rid of me. Fatty put on a winning smile. Crown Prince gnashed his teeth. This should have all been mine. Blinded by what's in front of me, I lost sight of the bigger picture. I have failed. Crown Prince sighed, then mocked, but there was someone else behind it all. Old third, you're just a figurehead. How does it feel? The real winner is Zhuo Fan. No, ha ha ha. Fatty didn't give in to the cawing in his ear. Yes, he is the true winner here. I knew that already. He may have been had by father, assaulted on every turn, but I didn't join them. I was convinced he had plenty of ways to return the favor. Father's win wasn't guaranteed. Oh, you were so optimistic, weren't you? In times when his allies drifted off, fighting father and the entire nation, the only reason those allies returned was because Regent Estate ruined their homes. How were you so sure that he would have the last laugh? Don't tell me you're a visionary. Fatty shook his head. The world shook at the shake of the earth dragon's tail, then came the celestial dragon to quell the chaos. As both the celestial and earth dragons exist, the land and rivers shall each call their king. This was High Priest Yun Xuanji's prophecy, when Zhuo Fan swallowed Huangpu Qingshan's dragon soul and the world trembled. Zhuo Fan had been disrupting Tianyu since then, and the factions were falling into dissent. It was then that father grasped his chance, enacting his great plan and wrestling power back into his hands. Crown Prince sighed, but the fatty grinned. Wrong, it's all wrong. High Priest's words are an enigma. The first line, father could make sense of it, but he read the last line wrong. The land and rivers shall each call their king isn't an omen of the collapse of Tianyu. Think about it, what does rivers imply? Water. With water and each combined, you get what? Luo. The last line clearly states the Luo clan will come out on top by providence. What? Crown Prince was speechless. Heaven decreed for Luo clan to replace Yuan clan. Prince Fatty smiled. For this very reason I never crossed swords with Zhuo Fan and Luo clan, in fear of providence's retribution. My position bears, in fact, heaven's stamp of approval. To hell with your approval, you're just a puppet. Is that something to take pride in? Crown Prince snorted. Fatty merely chuckled. Yet I am an emperor. Father's last words were, whatever you can grasp, it's yours. At least I have grasped the throne, while dear brother of mine laments even failing to be a puppet. Why you? Crown Prince gnashed his teeth. With a sadistic smile, Fatty clapped. Bring the medicine. Rotten ball of fat, what are you planning? Crown Prince cried. Fatty beamed. You used medicine to kill father, a scandal I had to cover up. But for father's revenge, I'll have you go down the same way. A servant approached with a reeking bowl. The awful stench was to die over. Yangning struggled to go there, but Zhuo Fan held her back, repeating over and over to stay calm. Crown Prince shuddered at every step of the incoming bowl of death. Damn fat ass, stop justifying killing me with your petty excuse. If it weren't for me acting first, you'd have stepped in as well that day. You dare come at me playing the timeless virtue, a damn hypocrite. You're right about one thing, we're both cruel and sinister. Fatty raised an eyebrow. Easing my conscience by taking revenge the same way you killed father is one reason. While I'm more unsettled about letting you live, we have lost the trust of the guardian sects and Zhuo Fan limits my actions. If by some miracle you manage to escape and use your name as Crown Prince to fight me, those sects will squash you in clan. For the safety of our clan, big brother, have an early hereafter. Fatty took the bowl to Crown Prince. Crown Prince couldn't even move, only snapping back. Rotten piece of fat, you're gonna regret this. I never regret my actions, or I'd have never made it to the throne. Fatty snickered, his eyes shining with cruelty, as he pried Crown Prince's mouth open and force-fed the slimy medicine. Crown Prince put up a feeble fight. With his cultivation sealed, all he could do was seethe with hatred as the disgusting slime poured down his throat. Yangning was wrecked with tears, shaking like a leaf. Only keeping quiet thanks to Zhuo Fan holding her mouth. Fatty threw the empty bowl away and cackled, "Ha ha ha, I can rest easy now. Ha ha ha, Fatty, joke's on you. You won't have a carefree reign even as a puppet." Crown Prince was bleeding from everywhere, his eyes bloodshot, yet laughed as he cursed. Fatty mocked, "That's not for you to decide. What can a dead man do anyway?" "Oh, really? Humph, you may kill me, damn Fatty, but don't think for a darn second you'll be at ease. There's someone else who wants your seat just as much." "Second brother?" Fatty snickered. "Thanks for reminding me. That brickhead will cause a mess sooner or later, but you can rest easy now, knowing I'll make sure he follows you soon enough." Crown Prince cackled, "Ha ha ha, follow me. You'll have to find him first." "What did you say?" Fatty frowned and shouted, "Didn't father imprison him? What did you do?" Crown Prince's face was covered in black blood, life ebbing out of his every pore, yet only his smile remained. "I don't mind telling you. To make sure father's anniversary went as I planned and old second wouldn't flee in the chaos at Imperial Palace, I had set up some contingencies. First was poisoning the father and then killing your lardess in passing. The other was to have someone take old second away. If I succeeded, old second would die. If I failed, he'll be my avenger, turning Tianyu upside down. Why did you do that?" Fatty squinted. "If father's plan had worked, Tianyu would have been Yuan clans. You are destroying our lands." Crown Prince mocked, "My dear rotten fatus, have you forgotten father's teachings already that you just now preached? If I can't have these lands, I'd rather destroy them, even if they're my brothers, ha ha ha." Crown Prince cackled and Fatty turned grim. "How can old second do it? He isn't capable of that. Yes, he alone has no hope, and that is why I had prepared some things for him. One of those things is the same gift I had obtained for father, lands of our nation." Fatty blurted, "Western lands' greatest man, Danking Shen. Rumor has it that whoever holds lands of our nation, Danking Shen, will fulfill their wish. What, pray tell, do you think old second's wish will be?" Crown Prince's eyes were mad. Fatty stared at him coldly. "Danking Shen has been missing for 1,000 years with no one catching any sign of him. He may even be dead. This hope is a pipe dream. No matter how abysmal, as long as old second lingers on, Danking Shen will one day come to Tianyu. Your days as an emperor are numbered. Have a taste of constant dread looming over your shoulder, fatus, ha ha ha." Crown Prince cackled as the light in his eyes faded. The proud smile remained even as he bled from every orifice. Fatty squinted and snorted as he stormed out of the jail, put out a wanted notice for second Prince Yuan Yang. Anyone catching him dead or alive will be greatly rewarded. "Yes, sir," the jail guard's shout echoed out. With everyone gone, Zhuo Fan turned towards the prideful but dead Crown Prince. With a flash of golden, he brought the girls out of there. Whoosh, the trio returned to the same spot they had left from, and Zhuo Fan let the girls go. Princess Yangning fell to her knees, sobbing, "Big brother, how could you do this to your third brother? It's simple. If he won, Fatty would have been the one lying in there instead." Zhuo Fan's flat tone came, masking the chaos within. Witnessing Fatty killing Crown Prince with such cruelty let him understand why Fatty was so at peace with his role. Perhaps it was Yun Xuanji's prophecy at work, that heaven could not be denied. Perhaps because of the three sects' ever-watchful eyes, ready to snuff him out the instant he strayed like the old emperor. That's why he wants to end the princes, to safeguard his future. It will stabilize his position in the short term, while the rest would be left for the future. By that time, Luo clan would be a behemoth not even the sects could shake, and all of Fatty's machinations would not achieve anything. Not while the greatest minds of Tianyu steer it. He could leave with an easy heart, breathing in and out. "After so many years, my heart has found peace at last. Demons, all of them," Princess Yangning sobbed louder. She was oblivious to the deep-rooted hatred and hostilities between her dear brothers, a matter of life and death. All of it just for the throne, your brothers of the same flesh and blood. "You can't even let each other live." Zhuo Fan scratched his nose at her, crying, To be honest, I'm a demonic cultivator, practically a demon as well. Steward Zhuo, you don't count." Yun Shuang looked him in the eye with rosy cheeks. "At least you want the best for Luo clan and the elders. If you're a demon as well, what will that make everyone else devils?" A chord moved in Zhuo Fan's heart and he frowned. "I, a great and grand demonic emperor, true believer of the demonic path, is not a demon. Either everyone else is a demon or I'm straying farther from the demonic path." Zhuo Fan was perplexed. His heart was at peace, yet his mind couldn't pierce the ever-thickening fog. Is this my demonic path? He used to be so clear-headed, but it has kept getting clouded as of late. Am I to tread ahead or take a step back? Young Xuanji's words came back to him. This life might be just another way of cultivating, and he regained calm. Regardless, the demonic path isn't definite. Just follow your heart, Xianxia. Tomorrow we're returning to Wingay City. Fatty's actions have put me at ease. Zhuo Fan spoke. Yun Shuang nodded. Yang Ning looked up at him and pleaded, Zhuo Fan, I beg of you to take me with you. I do not want to stay in such a painful place. Yun Shuang nodded before he could refuse. Of course, you'll come with me to Luo clan and live in the Yun clan. It's improper to take the great princess away. Zhuo Fan's dissuasion felt flat and Yun Shuang said, we're the biggest clan there is. What's improper about that? Come on. She pulled Yang Ning away, leaving Zhuo Fan speechless. How come even Xianxia has turned feisty, so out of her character? Am I a bad influence? Sigh, I'm such a bad uncle. Zhuo Fan shook his head. In a gloomy cave, second prince was asleep on a stone bed. Drip, an ice-cold droplet trailed down the cave wall and landed on his head. He flickered his eyes open with a shiver. Your Highness. A deep voice came from his side. Second prince looked through the haze at a kneeling man covered in black. Startled, he jumped to his feet and shouted, Who are you? Where is this place? Your Highness, I am with the Crown Prince. He had me rescue your Highness. His tone was cold, his words flat. Second prince recalled that on the eve of his father's birthday, someone barged into his cell and knocked him out. Next thing he knew, he was here. Second prince frowned, looking suspiciously at the man. So you are big brother's man? Humph, what is he up to now? Father had me imprisoned for life and I am no threat to his throne. Your Highness, all Crown Prince has done is to save your Highness. The man cupped his hands. Second prince became even more suspicious. Save, that's not the brother I know, and who would want to kill me, father? Your Highness, many things have happened while you were imprisoned. In short, third prince colluded with the traitor Zhuo Fan, conspiring against his majesty and crown prince. As the crisis came upon his Highness, he ordered me to save your Highness in hope that Sir might one day restore the Yuan clan and eliminate those vile traitors. Impossible. Old third is just a fat pig, he can't do anything. Second prince refuted in mockery, or more like he could not once believe that where his rebellion failed, Fatty succeeded. That'll be the crown jewel of humiliation. Am I a bigger loser than even a fat pig? The man shook his head. With the third prince's ability, yes. But he had Zhuo Fan's cunning in catching his majesty and crown prince unprepared, though that's not how the world sees it. Your Highness needs simply to take a walk outside and can learn who is the emperor and who has the world. Third prince betrayed his ancestors, surrendering Tianyu to that foul Zhuo Fan and becoming a puppet. Luo clan now reigns supreme, holding power above the imperial dynasty. Whole of Tianyu knows, and they've issued wanted notices for your Highness to weed you out. These are facts Sir may find out just by stepping outside. I am telling no lies. Second prince eyed him skeptically, yet gave credence to the words in the end. Because these conclusions were simple to reach, he found them to be sound. Being stuck in a cell all this time, second prince was oblivious to the great civil war in Tianyu, of the emperor and Quanrong's deal, and even Zhuge Changfeng's rebellion. At this point, he'd gobble up anything that was thrown at him. The man in black's fabricated story was based on facts. That Luo clan was Tianyu's apex and the emperor had changed. What was more, the second prince was in complete denial that Fatty had it in him to become emperor. He must have resorted to some underhanded deeds to pull through. Second prince grew outraged, oblivious that he was playing into Crown Prince's hand of inciting chaos. The man in black's order was: if Crown Prince ascended, kill second prince. If Crown Prince failed, make second prince his avenger. Yuan Yang had become the departed Crown Prince's tool. The man in black grinned inside, hidden behind a grieving facade. Damn you pig, you stole my crown, you even gave away our lands. You are a stain upon Yuan name, a disgrace to our ancestors. Second prince ranted, then sighed, alas, their power is beyond my reach. How am I to succeed in restoring our dignity, in getting revenge for father? Second prince, Crown Prince has made plans. The man in black presented a black package. Your Highness, this is what Crown Prince has prepared for sir. Therein lies the hope of revenge, of restoring our nation's glory. Second prince opened it to find 3 items. The first was a painting second prince was most familiar with, lands of our nation. Why did you give it to me, big brother? Am I to find the long-lost apex of Western land's power, Danking Shen, to help me? That's not possible. He's been gone for 1,000 years now. Where do I even start looking? Second prince shook his head. This is too thin, way too thin. He moved on to a hand-sized box. On opening it, he cried, W, what is this? A sparkling orb rolled around inside, just like an eye. The man in black bowed, second prince, it is High Priest Yun Xuanji's eye, capable of reading the stars. When His Majesty obtained it, he had tried hundreds of ways to pierce its mystical ability, only to fail every time and give up. Crown Prince had the chance to get it. It is unknown what it can do, but it must be incredible for sure. He has passed it on to you in hope that it may help, sir. Yun Xuanji's eye, second prince shook, eyeing the ocular organ, feeling a power taking over his mind. Staring at it for a fraction had him shaken to his core, his soul unsettled. He clenched his hand and took a good time to settle down. Evil, putting it back in the box, second prince eased a breath. I can't use it for now, nor do I know how. I know my limits not to mess with it. The man in black found it natural. What could he figure out when the emperor's whole gang couldn't for so many years? Second prince turned to the last item, an ancient piece of cloth engraved with a map. At a corner was an enlarged Yun character. Your Highness, this map was part of the imperial palace's treasury. Rumors say this map is what great ancestor used to find the Yun clan, their homeland. But with the Yun clan having gone from their ancestral home for so long, many have forgotten this detail. By following this map, your Highness can find it, the man reported. Second prince frowned at the tree items. High priest's eye, Yun clan's ancestral map and lands of our nation. Big brother wants me to? Correct. Yun clan's high priests can read fate, so their ancestral home must be the only place to unravel the eye's mysteries. By using the mystic eye, you might even catch Danking Shen's trail among the flow of fate. The man in black cupped his hands. Second prince sighed. Big brother is thorough to think of such a plan, of exceptional talent. If he could find Danking Shen, he could take back more than just Tianyu Empire, even the whole western lands. Second prince shouted, all right, since Big Brother has gone to such lengths, I will complete his design by finding western land's greatest expert. Then old third and Zhuo Fan, your death shall be nigh. Second prince steeled himself and the man in black slipped on a wide smile. Crown prince, your soul can look on in peace knowing your design carries on. Second prince is on the path you paved, your avenger. Meanwhile, Zhuo Fan paid Veiled Dragon Pavilion a trip to tell them about Fatty's proposal. Long Yifi couldn't be happier, agreeing on the spot. With 1,000 miles of rich lands at their disposal, anyone would accept, though with it being on the border, carrying out operations was risky. Of course, he'd ask Zhuo Fan for troops, and the man agreed just as quickly. Sharing a secret glance with his masterminds, everyone enacted psychological warfare on Long Yifi's mind by explaining the benefits of Luo alliance. With so many upsides to it, Veiled Dragon Pavilion hopped right on the bandwagon. With one down, the other two allies weren't far away either, all coming over as easy as breathing. With Luo clan being the one true clan here, with them they'd live the high life, but against them, an early grave. Adding the three old weasels' sly and smooth speech into the mix, it worked to cower and awe the trio into falling in line to the extent that they thought they were the ones better off. It was Zhuo Fan's way of showing gratitude to the old allies for all that they had done. But when did heaven ever flung a pie in anyone's lap? Every single benefit they received was followed by an equal, if not larger price. Having joined the Luo alliance, they'd make it big, sure, but they had lost independence, reduced to mere members of the Luo alliance, unable to direct their own development and being at the whims of the organization. Just like the other clans were vassals to the houses, only now the relations were much tighter, yet still had a defined hierarchy. The alliance leader was a no-brainer Luo clan, with the rest being members they controlled. Not that the others minded. With the Luo alliance in inception, they'd get a little something, and that proved to be enough to forget about vapid stuff like freedom. Now came the time of consolidating Luo clan's power. Although Zhuo Fa had no hand in it, leaving it to the clan's newest steward, it was time to leave. Commander Tauba, let's meet again someday. Back in Wingay City, Zhuo Fan had the Tigers escort Cultivation and the rest of Quanrong to the borders for the trade-off. With all of them having their cultivation sealed, the 500,000 Dugu army had no trouble escorting these 2 million prisoners. At the foot of Blackwind Mountain, Zhuo Fan put on a kind face watching the Quanrong army. But Cultivation's reply was cold, even when cupping hands. Let's not, I don't ever want to see you again. Ha ha ha, Commander Tauba surely jests. The least we are is adversaries and should have each other's respect, no. The same way you and Marshal Dugu treated each other. Humph, I respected Dugu Xianxia for his exquisite military talent, but more for his character. While you're inhuman, all you do is trick, cheat, and steal. And that flying tiger army is the last straw. Where the hell did you come up with such a dominating army? Cultivation clearly had some misgivings about his loss. Zhuo Fan laughed. He noticed the eyes of the Quanrong generals having some resentment as well, but there was more respect and fear than anything. By fighting Zhuo Fan, they learnt what godly skill meant. His leadership was average, but he more than made up with his twisted bag of tricks. At any given time, he would just pull something out of the hat so freakish, he'd make you pee your pants. No one wanted him for an opponent. It was too taxing to figure him out. Chuoba Liufeng was of the same mind. The 8 wolf wardens sighed, while only Tauba Liner had a complex smile and ended up shouting, Zhuo Fan, you still owe me half of those herbs in Beast King Mountain. What half? Please mind yourself, sister, you're my captive here. All of you are, I owe you nothing, ha ha ha. Zhuo Fan teased. Tauba Lioner blushed, whipping her head away and muttering, "Who's yours?" "Damn blabbing jerk," Zhuo Fan said a few words to the tigers before sending them off. He went to Blackwind Mountains Hall, which was packed with people. As it marked his final day as Luo clan's steward, he had to check everything to leave with an easy heart. Li Jingshan, Zhu Qingjian, Qiu Yanhai, heaven and earth sages stepped forth. The 5 people obeyed and bowed at his command. The sages had endless admiration for him too. They were in the 3rd layer of ethereal stage after 300 years of constant regret and suffering for being stuck at peak radiant stage. So grateful, they were devoted to the point of laying their lives down if Zhuo Fan ever asked them. "You 5 elders are the strongest and shall henceforth be Luo clan's venerables, keeping clan head and young miss safe." Zhuo Fan spoke and the 5 nodded. "Yes, sir." Zhu Chengfeng, Leng Wucheng and Yu Ming had a gander at Zhuo Fan's true intentions. In his time as steward, Zhuo Fan only ever made Luo clan's strongest, elders at best. By lifting these strongest 5 to the title of venerables, he was absolving them of the steward's control. Zhuo Fan copied the emperor, making the military and officials balance each other. Even with the bloodworms, Steward Zhu isn't assured of young master's safety. He feared being unable to hold back these monsters. Zhu Chengfeng shook his head. "Zhu Chengfeng, Ling Wucheng, Yu Ming to the front," Zhuo Fan called again. Zhuo Fan said, "Zhu Chengfeng shall be the steward of Luo clan, assisting clan head with the Luo alliance, effective immediately. Ling Wucheng shall be the overseer, in charge of Luo clan's resource collection and related matters. Yu Ming is to be the military advisor, assisting the Shadow Corps and Dugu army with foreign intelligence and raids." Startled, the trio resigned themselves. "Yes, sir." Zhuo Fan had effectively cut their jurisdiction, with each holding the other in check. Zhu Chengfeng had people to handle as he was in charge of the Luo alliance. Leng Wucheng was in charge of the economy, having a monopoly on all the resources, while Yu Ming had the military. These 3 powers helped each other while also holding each other back. It was obvious not everything was at their whims. Flicking them away, Zhuo Fan went on with his preparations and repeated warnings. To Lei Yuding and Lei Yunshan in particular, being enemies with Yu Ming just wouldn't do. Yet with Yu Ming leaving Hell Valley for the Luo clan, the 2 no longer cared. At long last, Zhuo Fan called Luo Yunhai to his side. "Little brat, did you learn the gestures I taught you?" "Yes." Luo Yunhai was tearful, his words choking. "Give it a go then," Zhuo Fan snickered. Luo Yunhai made a sign, and the hall was filled with all kinds of wondrous tonalities of pain and agony, resulting with the experts crumbling on the floor. With the end of the torture by another sign, they collected themselves and now had fear for the young kid. Zhuo Fan actually gave control of the bloodworms to him. The next time any of them had bad thoughts about clan head, they'd be toast. Worried to the extreme, they each saw the bitterness in their neighbors' eyes. Zhuo Fan smirked, nodding at their terror-stricken faces. Leaving without holding clan head in fear is not happening. "Young miss, give me the thunder ring." Zhuo Fan turned to the crying Luo Yuncheng. She held the ring close to her heart as she denied. "Why, it's mine. Do you want to take it with you? You won't even leave me a keepsake." Zhuo Fan chuckled and shook his head. He used his eye instead of talking, and the ring landed in his hand. Luo Yuncheng went to take it back, but Zhuo Fan placed it in Luo Yunhai's hand, his tone stoic. "Clan head Luo Yunhai, today this steward shall leave, and with my return a mystery, I will be unable to see your clan head ceremony. I give you the thunder ring, for that the next time it flickers, know that I have returned." Zhuo Fan's tone wasn't just for Luo Yunhai, but for everyone else as a warning. "Don't you dare think my departure is final. You better behave." Luo Yuncheng halted her step and held her mouth, with eyes swimming in tears. Zhuo Fan had gone above and beyond the call of duty for the Luo clan. Even forced to go to Demon Scheming Sect, all for Luo clan's safety. Or with Zhuo Fan's skills, nothing and no one would ever catch wind of him. Leaving this time was because Demon Scheming Sect had to have him. The times ahead could very well be dangerous and life-threatening. He might not even return. In spite of it all, Zhuo Fan's last thoughts were about Luo clan's safety. Swallowing the lump in his throat, Luo Yunhai forced himself to be calm as he raised his arm with the thunder ring and proclaimed, "I, Luo Yunhai, vow that this thunder ring shall be clan head's symbol for generations. Luo Alliance's token of authority. This ring represents the clan head. No matter how big the Luo Alliance becomes, it will be Steward Zhu's supporter. No matter what danger Steward Zhu may face, be it the 3 sects themselves, the Luo Alliance will stop at nothing, not for resources and not for men, to help Steward Zhu." Luo Yunhai's voice echoed out, filled with determination. Zhuo Fan looked at his own thunder ring. "I am no longer of the Luo clan, and any danger I face will be unrelated to them." Yet the Luo clan would stick with him no matter what. Such a display of devotion left him touched to the core. People looked at Luo Yunhai with respect. Although young, he was loyal, a rarity in this world. Watching the all-grown-up kid, Zhuo Fan smiled, patting his head. He then walked past him and stepped out. People made way for him, watching the ineffable steward who raised a third-rate clan to be the best in Tianyu walk on by. Luo Yunhai shook, choked with emotion. He finally got a hold of himself to let out one last shout, "Big brother Zhu, you must come back." The words carried far, while Luo Yuncheng sobbed next to him, her eyes red from crying. At the foot of Blackwind Mountain, Zhu Fan walked among the shadows of the forest, his eyes glowing. Feeling for his heart, it's not hurting. The demon is gone. Demonic Emperor Zhu Yifan and the once servant Zhu Fan were of one heart today, of firm belief that the Luo clan was safe. Yet even without the heart demon, there were many other matters inside his heart that he couldn't throw away. "You're crying." "No, something fell in my eyes." Zhu Fan turned towards the cute voice to see Yun Shuang and Yangning. He then looked away and blinked the lonely tear away and made a rushed excuse. Yun Shuang giggled and Yangning covered her smile, all while their fondness for him grew. Even this obnoxious and tyrannical steward had a hidden face. "What are you two doing here?" Shuinger, as the Yun clan head, "Weren't you saying you'd take your clan around Blackwind Mountain to establish an observatory?" Angry, the two girls saw something unmanly. Zhu Fan snorted. To these two, though, he looked like pouting and they laughed. Yun Shuang had a soft gaze. "You saved the people and you took revenge for my grandfather. Now that you're leaving, I must see you off and give my gratitude." "No need. It was all in passing, just by chance." Zhu Fan shook his hand and mocked. "I was never someone to do good, only thinking about ruining my enemy. If it were a righteous and benevolent ruler standing in my way, I might be the one throwing these people in chaos. My eyes only see my opponent and nothing else." Yun Shuang frowned but shook her head. "You always call yourself evil and maybe consider yourself to be heinous, but unlike all those twisted people, you have a sliver of conscience. You're redeemable, that's why." Yun Shuang blushed and came up to him to whisper in his ear these sweet words, "I shall follow grandfather's wish and will always be in Luo clan, waiting for you to save you from eternal damnation and become a good man. Even if you aren't willing, I'll just stick with you forever." Zhu Fan shook, his face taking an odd expression. He saw Yun Shuang blush harder, her clear eyes filled with unspeakable softness. Yun Shuang avoided his gaze and muttered, "No matter if you want to or not, remember our promise, you must come back." Yun Shuang skipped away while hugging her face, though now her ears were red. Zhu Fan blinked in a daze. "What promise? You decided all by yourself without asking me. Just who could have taught her how to behave so rudely? Why does it feel like me, though? PFF. Yangning giggled and presented a green bracelet with tender eyes. "Zhu Fan, look after it. My mother left it for me. We will be worlds apart now, but never forget me. Save it. There's no reason why I should take your bracelet, let alone always remember you." "What the hell are you up to?" Zhu Fan glared. Glum, Yangning resorted to stomping. "Are you dense as a brick or what? I can't be any more obvious than that. You're not happy unless I spit it out." Zhu Fan raised a suspicious eyebrow. Yangning shouted in annoyance, "Zhu Fan, I shall inform you today that this princess has taken a liking to you. I have made the trip to Blackwind Mountain to be around you more and grow closer. Yet just as I've arrived, you plan on leaving. No choice but to use the last resort, exchanging vows through keepsakes in hope that you will never forget me. Wait, hold your horses." Zhu Fan waved all over the place. "Your Highness, are you high? We barely know each other, there's nothing between us. Isn't it a bit sudden dumping this on me now?" "Not one bit. Haven't you heard of love at first sight?" Yangning blinked her pretty eyes. "Mom used to tell me as a child that no matter the danger, never fear. Because Prince Charming will come from the heavens, holding me in his safe embrace and keeping the danger at bay. On that day outside the imperial palace, the same moment my life was at peril, you appeared. It's just like Mom said. You're my destiny." Face twitching, Zhu Fan sighed. Princess, that's just a fairy tale for children. You're too old to be reading those. No, this is my mother's will that I must honor, just like Shuinger grandfather's will. Besides, you accepted Shuinger, so why not me as well? I do not care for being second since we're close as sisters." When did I do that?" Zhu Fan was confused. "Didn't she just say she'll be with you for life? Not refusing is accepting. Someone like her, so kind and shy, taking the initiative is remarkable. And I too shall lower my status by throwing myself in your arms, willing to share you with others. That's even more remarkable." Grinning, Yangning noticed the stars in his eyes, presenting the bracelet like a nice alluring auntie to a sweet little boy. "Zhu Fan, take it and we will be together forever in happiness." Gulping, the once fearless steward Zhu crumbled in sweat on the battlefield of love with such a mighty adversary like General Yangning. They were right, women are just like tigers. PP Princess, calm down now. I am but a nobody with even my life uncertain. You need to be cautious before being with me. Your end will be bitter. I am cautious. A wife follows her husband. She'll remain a widow for life, but I am more than happy to walk this path. Like you always say, follow your heart. This is what I'm doing, listening to your words. Yang Ning giggled with her eyes tinted with desire. Zhuo Fan grimaced and felt like slapping his rotten mouth. That's what I get from spewing crap, now I have to answer for it. Princess, take it easy. You, a glorious princess, should have a better future. Like the four tigers, yes, they are renowned generals, always crying for a wife. Think them over. Don't want to. I only need you in my life, I am dead serious. Yang Ning blinked her charming eyes at him. Even our tempers match. Match your head. I felt sorry for leaving Luo clan, but now I see that I need to get out of here fast. Thinking so, he then jerked his head and pointed behind her. Xianxia, did you come back for princess? Xianxia? Yang Ning turned. It was the window he desperately desired, and Zhuo Fan grasped it like his life depended on it. Yang Ning did look back at him, only to find him gone. Stomping, Yang Ning looked bitterly at the bracelet, her eyes clouded with anger. I only wanted you to take my keepsake to remember me by. I'm no tiger, so why did you run off? Humph stinker. A chilly wind passed by her legs. Standing there, she had lost her lively spirit, now turned desolate with tears streaming down her face. She, a great princess, had just made her first confession only to be rejected like that. Somewhere else, Zhuo Fan appeared a mile away from Blackwind Mountain filled with trepidation. He didn't hate the ladies, but no way was he going to accept them. Their sincerity is touching enough, but I am a demon. He wouldn't fall in love out of principle. He had been like this all his life, and it had turned into natural behavior. His heart was too heavy for it to contain love, while that made dealing with hypocrites a breeze. Wait, another soft voice stopped him, and all he could do was look at the sky with a long drawn-out sigh. For the love of all that's holy on this God's green earth, am I the only man alive here? What are all these girls coming at me for? Zhuo Fan turned around lazily, only to jerk at the sight of her. It was Veiled Dragon Pavilion's Long Kui. The lass never liked him, and every time they talked, they always ended up bickering just like enemies. When Luo clan was still a no-name clan, this girl looked down on these hicks. For the same reason, he made the 10-year promise in anger, that Luo clan would rise above all the houses. Zhuo Fan almost forgot it had been that long. But on seeing her, an evil fire lit up in his heart. He, damn lass, right on time. I'm gonna show off till you drop. Long Kui noticed him jerk at her call, then a trepidation, and lastly confusion. But right now he had turned evil, putting on a haughty look, his nose way high. She was lost to what came onto him. What's with him changing tunes in a split second? Did he hit his head or something? Heard you are leaving Tianyu, Long Kui said softly. Zhuo Fan smiled, word sure travels fast. Why have you come to see me off? Of sorts, what matters is the promise from 10 years ago, Long Kui smiled. Zhuo Fan was stumped. That was supposed to be his line, to mock the lass and put her down. Why is she the one bringing it up? It was the same as getting paid rent without asking for it. It made no sense. Long Kui saw past his angelic face and smiled. 10 years ago I was young and rash, looking down on you in my ignorance and speaking out of place. I offer you my deepest and sincerest apology. Long Kui made a deep bow. Zhuo Fan was speechless. All the work I put into showing off just got washed away. With the other person apologetic, he had nothing to build his act on. He could only shirk it off. It's fine, I already forgot such trifles, ha ha ha. Liar. Long Kui straightened up and her eyes took a crafty glint. You've surpassed everything that stood in your way these years, turning a nameless clan into a monster. A commendable act no ordinary person could ever achieve. I have seen your trail one step at a time, and you have left me stunned every single time. I now understand why you mustn't look down on youth. Ha ha ha, you're too kind, please, Zhuo Fan chuckled, beaming with the pride of his achievements. The lass sure holds me in high regard. His pride was short-lived though, as Long Kui drove her attack fully in, catching Zhuo Fan on the wrong foot. Crud, she got me. Though you can't look down on youth, is it fine to pick on defenseless girls? Long Kui's tone had some bite. Zhuo Fan was lost for words. Long Kui's apology was fake in order to condemn him. It was all smoke and mirrors to lift him high, only to slam him down to earth with a well-placed blow to the hypothetical gut. She fed my ego to strike back. The day finally came for even the grand Zhuo Fan to grow so complacent to fall for such a basic trick. Zhuo Fan worked his brain matter for some excuse, only to come empty, not getting why Long Kui got so aggressive. He put on an awkward smile. Miss Long Kui, why may I ask, are you so angry? Why, you should ask yourself, Humph. Long Kui glared. Did you not go to Pavilion Lord with a proposal to marry me off to that accursed tub of lard? Oh, so that's how it is. Zhuo Fan cooled on the spot, having grasped the reason. I was just the messenger. I didn't force anyone. The decision was up to Pavilion Lord Long. Though, what? Long Kui frowned. Zhuo Fan snickered, though he's the only tub of lard offering such a grand betrothal gift. Pavilion Lord Long couldn't refuse even if he wanted to. In fact, I don't think anyone could. That's a 1,000-mile stretch of fertile land. For Fatty to offer so much only goes to show his love for you. You will have happiness. Humph, my happiness is my business. A busybody like you has no right to interfere. Long Qiu's anger burned even hotter. Zhuo Fan slumped his shoulders and shook his head. All I did was to pass along a brother's words. You can be against it all you want, but take it out on Pavilion Lord Long and Fatty, not me. I'm leaving Tianyu and don't need any more annoyances. Zhuo Fan, playing the victim, only incensed her into shouting, some brother you are. Would you have done the same if Fatty wanted Ninger? Zhuo Fan frowned, his heart a mess. His eyes darkened and his heart grew icy, but that didn't stop Long Qiu's berating. What if he went for Chu King Cheng? Would you play the messenger then as well? Zhuo Fan's heart sank, finding it impossible to make a coherent sentence, just standing there with a hardened gaze. The answer to that was clear, a resounding no. Long Qiu struck a frail figure as she nodded. I see. Next month I will marry His Majesty. A shame the best steward in Tianyu, the great steward Zhuo, won't be there to see it. Long Qiu sighed, rambling on before walking away in silence. Zhuo Fan noticed as she turned, 2 trails falling down her cheeks. Zhuo Fan had a puzzled gaze as he saw Long Qiu empty inside and rambling on. Wasn't she blaming me just now? How is it that she's the one to leave defeated? Doesn't that happen after a big fuss or fight or something? Peculiar. Zhuo Fan shook his head and sighed, putting this affair behind him as he went on his way. Oddly enough, no one noticed Fatty and Fang Qiu by close by. Fatty sighed, Brother Zhuo, I can never take you on, but I can play little tricks. Your Majesty, this should make her give up. Fang Qiu by turned to Long Qiu. Fatty nodded with a wise gaze. The proposal would have worked with that stretch of land alone, but to have little Qiu look forward to the wedding is impossible, not while she loved someone else. Zhuo Fan, Fang Qiu by spoke firmly. Fatty smiled, correct. Ever since Luo clan's ceremony, outside the imperial palace, I saw something growing in little Qiu for the brat. I was hesitating whether to fight such a man over a woman, only to find it wasn't necessary. Little Qiu's one-sided love was something he had no clue of, nor did he much care for her. This was little Qiu's path she had to take herself, so I had Zhuo Fan be the messenger, making it look like Zhuo Fan threw little Qiu into my lap. In pain, little Qiu had to come to Zhuo Fan to confirm it. Now she knows there's no place for her in his heart and should give up. A woman with a dead heart will be sure to accept her fate next to me as Empress. What if Zhuo Fan finds out with his mean streak? Fang Qiu by frowned. Fatty waved it off with a smile, no worries. Do you know why despite his sharp mind did I still get to use him? He never gave a damn about little Qiu, so he just overlooked everything. I borrowed his luck with women, but he didn't lose either. In fact, by having Veiled Dragon Pavilion enter the Luo clan, even if he did find out, it won't matter. I have finally grasped Zhuo Fan's character. He is selfish and won't act unless someone encroaches on his people. Ha ha ha, Fatty's eyes shone with wisdom. He turned and said, Sir Fang, any news of the second brother? No, he has disappeared. Fang Qiu Bai shook his head. Fatty shouted, keep searching. Don't stop until I see him or his corpse. In the meantime, Zhuo Fan went to the meeting place with the demon scheming sect. Then Cackles announced the arrival of 4 black smokes. They took the form of the 4 scheming demons. You're the one receiving me? Ha ha ha, that's great. Zhuo Fan laughed. The 4 pygmies were ordered to return to the sect before the war with Quanrong by the Impermanence 5. They had spent too long outside after busting out of prison and had to get back to the sect. Helpless, the 4 pygmies returned to get their punishment. Zhuo Fan figured he'd never see them again, either put in a corner or thrown in jail again. Yet here they were as Zai Yu's men acting as his guide to the sect. He was pleasantly surprised. With the sect in a remote and hidden area, the secular world having no clue of its location, only its disciples could guide him there. And since they all knew each other, it'd make the trip easier. But the 4 scheming demons, on seeing that it was Zhuo Fan, puffed out in cockiness, with Violent Demon presenting a jade slip with all the arrogance he had. Are you ready to enter our sect, new disciple? We are the Demonic Cultivator Hero Quartet, the greatest and handsomest in the demon scheming sect. 4 scheming demons coming to receive you. State your name, age, birthplace, date of birth, cultivation. Do you shits have such short memories? Allow me the honor of refreshing it of those thrilling moments long past. Zhuo Fan made a sign. The 4 screamed in pain, now rolling on the floor from the bloodworms acting up. Steward Zhu, we'd never, it was all a joke, see, let us go. Steward Zhu, we're just doing our job, you'll soon be a disciple while we have a higher status. You can't always treat us like this. Steward Zhu, it hurts. I can't take it, make it stop. The 4 demons flounced around in pain and pleaded. Zhuo Fan only smiled, his eyes icy. No matter how high you climb, get this straight. No matter where I go, I will never be beneath anyone. Steward Zhu, your temper hasn't changed, I see. Still as violent, ha ha ha. On a gloomy lone path, 5 people walked. A youth with a sinister smile and 4 5-foot midgets. Violent Demon was fanning Zhuo Fan and sucking up at the same time. Zhuo Fan mocked. Do you think less than half a year is enough to change anyone? Then again, you four shits only get more outrageous after a few days away from my side. You even had the nerve to show off to me. Steward Zhuo, please, that was just the perks of the job. Wimp Demon explained. Besides, the sect is filled with nasty people, always acting tough to the newbies. We were only helping you stay out of trouble. Zhuo Fan raised an eyebrow. Did you just think I'll be railroaded? The four jerked and shook their heads at once. Violent Demon cuffed Wimp Demon over the head. Ignorant fool, who do you take Steward Zhuo for? It's already a miracle if he doesn't railroad others. But if others did that to him, that's a death sentence. All bobbed, Zhuo Fan included. Others aside, if you four don't know me by now after all this time, now that's ridiculous. A mere demon scheming sect, an average sect of the mortal domain, can't have anyone that can stand up to me. Zhuo Fan's grin widened. Violent Demon checked the time and was all wishy-washy. Steward Zhuo, there is the matter of overdoing things. We should hurry along since we're already late. It won't do for us to earn sect leaders' ire. Let's fly at least. Where's the fire? I've been cooped up in Tianyu for years, and now that I get to travel, can't I enjoy the view, have a taste of the great outdoors? Zhuo Fan shot him down. He had no intention of fitting in just yet. Who knows when he'd get out? He'd need approval for any outing or relaxation once institutionalized, and with no place to vent, he'd go stir-crazy. So if he could drag it out, he'd go the distance on foot. The four scheming demons, though, were feeling quite tense. It was a mission from the sect to receive new disciples. Being late would get the sect leader on their backs, the one who they couldn't mess with. Yet he paled in comparison to this new guy, the great Steward Zhuo, having fed them bloodworms. They'd be on someone's bad side no matter the choice, and the four felt like crying. Since when did taking in a new disciple become such a toil? To any rowdy disciple, there were so many ways to get him to wait on the guides. By the time they reached the sect, he'd be a meek lamb. While on this lord before them, the usual tricks never worked. In fact, they'd be happy if this steward stopped waiting on them, to say nothing of what other dirty tricks his twisted mind might cook up. One wrong word and it'd be hell on earth. This is no new disciple, but an ancestor's detail. Steward Zhuo, think of our fond times together and help us out a little. Let's fly. We can just carry you if you want. Going like this will really make us run late, Violent Demon implored while sobbing. The other three put on sad faces and puppy eyes. Zhuo Fan eyed them and snorted. What are you scared of? Zai Yu invited me in. You think he'd mind some slight delay? Bro, he won't mind it with you, but he'll ruin us. Violent Demon cried a river and wailed. Steward Zhuo, we've risked life and limb in the old days for you. You can't always treat us like dirt, or the sect leader will have us thrown in a thunder prison for another century. The others nodded with pleading faces. Zhuo Fan shook his head and sighed. Fine, we'll fly as a favor for those days. But you'll carry me? Yes, sir. The four grew ecstatic and Zhuo Fan shook his head. Zai Yu must have everything in a tight grip to have even these wild and unpredictable pygmies wrecked with fear. The four joined hands in lifting Zhuo Fan high above. Zhuo Fan closed his eyes, feeling soothed just like in a deck chair. The clear blue sky, the warm rays of the sun, all felt like utter bliss, though the fighting sounds from the nearby woods broke the mood. The four scheming demons looked at each other to see the glare in their eyes. Someone's fighting, let's have a look-see, Wimp Demon said, thrilled. Violent Demon was in total agreement. Who is it, I wonder? Such a ruckus is bound to be interesting. Even if it is, should we go? We don't have much time left to return. Scrooge Demon calculated the pros and cons. Sly Demon asked the final question, do we go or not? After a moment of silence, looking at each other's eyes, the four's decision was unanimous. Damn right we go. They threw Zhuo Fan off their backs while they turned into black smoke to go in the battle's direction. Zhuo Fan had some me time, basking in the sun's warm glow, only to have a very rude awakening, smashing face first into the ground. With a raging glare, he searched his quarry to find none. Blast and thunder, now I see why Zai Yu would want to throw them in prison for a century. It'd be a 10,000 years if it were me. Zhuo Fan patted the dust off of him, his face burning with rage. And noticing the sounds, he flew straight towards it with an insidious mind. You like to watch, don't you? See how I'll make you the stars of the show. 15 minutes later, Zhuo Fan found the pygmies at a valley entrance. With their butts stuck out and heads in a bush, Zhuo Fan grinned and grabbed them. Now I got you, you little shits. The four panicked all right, yet for some odd reason they kept shushing him while pointing at the bush. Zhuo Fan paused, noticing it was an odd behavior even for these clowns. Curiosity got the better of him as he let them go and stuck his head into the bush. The valley was more like a trench. Their bush's position offered a good vantage point and clear view to the sheer drop below and the two groups of men at the bottom. One was clothed in black, with the character for soul written on them, exploding with savage energy. Demonic cultivators. while the other side wore all white with the word mystical sewn in golden on one of their shoulders. The two sides were in a deadlock, their eyes only for the small plant with 3 leaves of red, yellow, and blue between them. Its intoxicating aroma was felt all the way up to the spectators. Ninth grade spiritual herb, tricolor soul-fixing grass, Zhuo Fan muttered. Violent demon used this prime chance to suck up. Steward Zhu is wise and farseeing. It is indeed the rare tricolor soul-fixing grass. The pill made from it can protect one's soul from scattering. Even after months of soul drifting, you'll still be at peak. It is the most rare and precious herb in assuring an ethereal stage expert's life. Zhuo Fan nodded. For anyone below the ethereal stage, it would keep their soul in one piece and save their life. If he had it when Ninger's soul was wounded, he wouldn't have needed Zai Yu. While in the case of an ethereal stage expert, it would slow down the decay of the soul while devoid of a body and help them seize another. If Elder Shi had it, he wouldn't have panicked so much on losing his body. Tricolor soul-fixing grass was such a rare safety measure that one would be hard-pressed to find it even in sects, which explained the impasse below. Do you know who they are? Zhuo Fan asked. Violent Demon nodded softly. Steward Zhu, those in black are from the Demon Soul sect, demonic cultivators like us, both of different factions. Their sect is even stronger than ours. Best left alone, while the ones in white are on our side from one of Tianyu's 3 guardian sects, Mystical Heaven sect. But righteous and demonic factions can't coexist, walking different paths. Mystical Heaven sect, Zhuo Fan was shocked. Isn't that the same one grandmother said King Cheng went to? Third Master Han, our sect found the herb first. What is the meaning of your presence here? Are you trying to steal it? The leader of the Mystical Heaven sects group was a charming and valiant girl. Her eyebrows delicate, her eyes pure, complementing her beauty and tenderness, but the fire in her worked as a deterrence, especially that ancient jade sword, unleashing a chilling and sharp sword intent even sheathed. None from the Demon Soul sect met her gaze, afraid the sword intent might split their heads open on contact. One feminine man with a sneer and sinister air had no qualms about facing off. Jade Sword Fairy of Mystical Heaven sect, Shui Ruohua, is worthy of her reputation. Even unpolished can exude her brilliance. Sword still in its sheath, yet the sword intent can cripple one's heart. I bow before the master. Enough patronizing. Do you give up the spiritual herb or not? Shui Ruohua spat. Young Master Han smirked. Spiritual herbs have no owner, belonging to the one who can get it first. Why should we give it to you? Then again, dual cultivation in the company of Fairy Ruohua might give me pause. Swine, Shui Ruohua blushed and her sword came out the sheath. Waves of light and sword energy flashed about as it whistled for Xianxia like a dragon. Anyone struck by it would find himself an extra large breathing hole. From up above, Zhuo Fan lauded her in silence. Women like her are quite rare, unleashing such a sharp sword strike. She's just like that sword fanatic Zai Tiansheng. I bet she's a real feisty one even casually. Yet no matter how good the attack was, with her being in the 5th layer of Radiant Stage and him in the 7th, it wouldn't hit anything if he had some skills as well. To say nothing of the danger, it only got worse from here. By unleashing such a strong attack, she left herself open for a killing blow. Zhuo Fan sighed. Sure as he lived, Xianxia laughed at the incoming sword, reacting with a palm attack. Great timing. Since Fairy Ruohua has no qualms, neither will I. A 2-meter-tall scarlet palm shot in front of him. High profound martial arts, soul-seeking scarlet palm, PFF. With a muffled sound, the sword and the scarlet hand clashed into a deadlock. Shui Ruohua lapsed for a second, then gnashed her teeth as she pushed the sword forward harder. While Xianxia waved and the palms split into countless stars hammering Shui Ruohua's body, being so close didn't give her room to react. She was flung away and spat dark blood. Senior sister, her group shouted while the Demon Soul sect's side snickered. Xianxia mocked, Jade Sword Fairy, your sect is but a low-ranked one while ours is a mid-level sect. We are better than you in every way, be it martial arts or cultivation methods. You've seen it yourself, so walk away knowing your limits and not fight us over the herb. So what if you got dibs? In this world, power is everything. Everything belongs to the winner, Xianxia snorted. Up on the vantage point, the 4 scheming demons laughed inside and nodded. The dumb broad is toast, hee. She asked for it, going against a demonic cultivator. Violent Demon laughed at her expense. Sly Demon giggled, that's not all. If the young leader from the Demon Soul sect took her away to dual cultivate, that old foggy from Mystical Heaven sect would choke on it. Hi. True. The rest bobbed their heads excitedly. Zhuo Fan asked, do you mean to say Demon Scheming sect and Mystical Heaven sect are bitter enemies? Why do I get the feeling that you want Mystical Heaven sect to suffer a worse fate? Nope, we can't stand either of them, but Mystical Heaven sect is on the righteous path. As demonic cultivators, we want nothing more than to see them squirm, ha. Violent Demon laughed. Zhuo Fan shook his head. Be that as it may, such a course of action was born out of ignorance. Tallying everything up, one looked at the profits and not one's alignment, all to further one's self-interests. Yuming escaped the interests of his house to achieve what he was now, standing shoulder to shoulder with the likes of Zhu Changfeng and Leng Wucheng. If all of the demon scheming sect was so narrow-minded, its future was hopeless. Pa. With a faint sound, Shui Ruohua leaned on her sword to stand, watching the herb with a killing gaze. Again, Shui Ruohua lifted her sword with gnashed teeth, facing Han Sancho again. Han Sancho frowned. You've lost. Going further will mean death. Is that what you want? Humph, hand over the herb or take my life. Shui Ruohua's eyebrows shook, filled with unwillingness. The life of my young master depends on that herb. I must have it, Han Sancho mocked. Oh, that retard, ha ha ha, death suits him better. What's a born cripple like him still living for, taking up space? Shut up. I won't let anything happen to my dear brother. Shui Ruohua stomped as she thrust her sword. Her attack this time was far weaker, not even a tenth of the first. The wounds were taking their toll on her. Han Sancho waved in mockery and unleashed a gale. With a loud sound, Shui Ruohua flew and spat blood again. Her eyes were desperate and hopelessly in tears. Little brother, forgive me, I can't protect you. Pa. At this particular moment, her body stopped, feeling a strong arm holding her, but what came into sight was a foreign face. Why, Shui Ruohua spoke weakly. Zhuo Fan smiled. We don't know each other. It's just that Miss Character is very much like someone I know. Zhuo Fan was reminded of Chu King Cheng and her desperate attempts to save Drifting Flowers edifices. He sighed, you're so much alike, I'm sure you'd be close friends. Shui Ruohua frowned, not understanding any of his words. Hi hi hi. Creepy laughter announced the arrival of 4 black trails of smoke. The 4 scheming demons were standing there while cackling. Ha ha ha, when 2 fight, the 3rd wins. You guys continue, while the demon scheming sect takes the 9th grade herb hee hee. The demon scheming sect. Shui Ruohua was on guard around Zhuo Fan, pushing away from him in a rush. Han Sancho raised an eyebrow at the 4 demon scheming sect. A herb was discovered, yet here are 3 great sects fighting over it. Things sure got interesting. Zhuo Fan smiled and shook his head at the demons. You 4, repeat what you said. The spiritual herb is ours. Right, Steward Zhuo? Violent demon beamed. The resounding crack on his face was Zhuo Fan's answer, along with a serious tongue lashing, of course. Right, your rotten head. You've been around me for so long and you can't even tell that much about me. Is a 9th grade herb worth fighting for? Are you beggars? Zhuo Fan's shout echoed around the gorge and the demons looked down with crestfallen faces. While Mystical Heaven Sect and Demon Soul Sect grimaced. Who the heck is he? Are you calling us beggars? Is that it? Han Sancho's smile iced over. Since when did Demon Scheming Sect got so tough, so rich, that even a 6th layer of Profound Heaven disciple spits on a 9th grade herb? That would mean we, the mid-level Demon Soul Sect, should be currying favor with the Demon Scheming Sect. Moneybags, let's be friends. Han Sancho patronized, and the rest of the Demon Soul Sect party laughed. Where the hell did he crawl out of? He's putting up such an exaggerated show, no one'll believe him. 9th grade herbicide, the entirety of Western lands had no sect that outstanding. But the 4 scheming demons knew something they didn't as they saw the unfazed, mocking smile on Zhuo Fan. Steward Zhuo, since you don't want it, what did we run over here for? Couldn't we just watch the live show? Violent demon asked, holding his burning cheek. Zhuo Fan smiled as he pointed at Shui Ruohua. I came here for one reason, to save her. All stood speechless. Since when did the demon scheming sects people save mystical heaven sects? Whenever the 2 sides met, there was bound to be an altercation. Shui Ruohua was just as stunned, but blushed at his hard gaze, her heart jumping around inside. What is he trying to pull? Claphand Sancho had a savage look as he watched Zhuo Fan with a light clap. Oh, a hero in shining armor. And here I thought some reject had jumped in. That being said, you must have good taste like mine to set your eyes on such a fine fairy for dual cultivation. Demon Soul Sect's side snickered. Shui Ruohua grew angry as she watched the 2 with her guard up and her heart stuck in her throat. They're both the worst. If worst comes to worst, I would rather kill myself than let them touch me. Those on Mystical Heaven Sect's side were all keyed up, their brows soaked in sweat. What rotten luck meeting 2 demonic sects, and both are enamored by senior sister's looks. Her killer body is going to kill us all. Zhuo Fan eyed them coldly before stopping on Han Sancho with a smile. All I want is easy, save the girl and take the herb. If you have your head on straight, you'd scatter this instant before you regret it. Regret it? Ha ha ha, who will make me regret it? You? Just a 6th layer of Profound Heaven cultivator. Han Sancho had heard the joke of the century, laughing harder. Looking closer at Zhuo Fan's party, something clicked in him and he mocked. Are you Zai Yu's son, being all cocky in the sect and now you've come out to die? Didn't your dad ever tell you to keep your head down? Mystical Heaven Sect's side was filled with doubt. Demon Scheming Sect's sect leader has a son. They were both Tianyu's 3 guardian sects, so how come they've never heard of him? Zhuo Fan chuckled. What gave you that idea? It's those 4 little freaks behind you. They're in the 6th layer of Radiant Stage, elders or executives of the sect. They'd never show such respect to just any disciple. Xianxia put on a prideful look, having seen it all, yet a profound heaven disciple like you berated and slapped them, and yet they showed no anger. It's clear as day that you're above them in the sect. The only possibility for a profound heaven disciple to piss on Radiant Stage experts is if you were sect leader's son. Xianxia's analysis was so damn logical even mystical heaven sects side watched Zhuo Fan speechless. He must be Zai Yu's son after all, but why haven't we ever heard of him? Demon scheming sect sure knows how to work in secret. Zhuo Fan only smiled and sighed. It made so much sense that even Zhuo Fan would reach the same conclusion if the roles were reversed. With how profound heaven cultivators putting Radiant Stage experts in their place were scarcer than a hen's teeth, the only thing that fits here besides second-hand power was true personal strength. But that was way too outrageous. And yet that's how Zhuo Fan had been operating and getting wins, leaning only on his own 2 hands. Scratching his nose, Zhuo Fan smiled. Judging by appearances, I see. But that's fine, as long as it gets the job done and you won't butt in, I won't care. Zhuo Fan walked over to the herb with a carefree look, as if everyone present was beneath him. He never considered anyone there a roadblock, cruising over to fetch the herb. Shui Ruohua watched Zhuo Fan swagger on like a hotshot, big shot, and the like, and all she could react with was a dumb look. Zhuo Fan's attitude was unlike the hostile demonic cultivators, while also filled with a greater calm than your average person. Xianxia's eyes went cold and his mouth formed a sneer. It all makes sense now, why Zai Yu's son wasn't known. He's not worth anything, a demonic cultivator, and yet not one demonic bone in his back makes him a garbage. Someone go out there and teach this nobody a lesson? Yes, sir. A tough guy with thick arms cupped his hands as his aura exploded with the power of a 9th layer profound heaven stage. Whoosh, the guy flashed in Zhuo Fan's face and punched while ridiculing. Ha ha ha, dumb brat, this is what you get for looking at young master's possession and girl. Die. Hi, death begets all who mess with our steward Zhuo. With a creepy laughter, 4 smoke trails came from behind Zhuo Fan. The big guy jerked, finding himself pulled by his limbs in 4 directions. Following the cackle, 4 bloody parts dyed the ground with blood and gore. Mystical heaven sect's brows shook, scared by a little blood and guts. Who the hell are they? It's too savage even for a demonic cultivator, yet these 4 have no qualms doing it. We get that you want to save your boss, kid, but that guy was just a profound heaven cultivator. Isn't it just a little bit overkill for 4 Radiant Stage experts to tear him apart? This was 4 scheming demons' nature, not giving a hoot about the other side's level or numbers. We 4 have always worked together. What? Got a problem? Bring it if you have the guts. Xianxia barked. Such valor from demon scheming sect, killing someone from the demon soul sect. You 4 are dead. Xianxia shot for them. 4 scheming demons snickered, turning into smoke. 4 Radiant Stage experts in the 6th layer were about to fight one in the 7th layer, but 4 scheming demons' eerie moves and combined form had them on the advantage. Xianxia sensed the strangeness of the enemy yet snickered. That form is just like my sect's shadow array. If you think you can beat me with just that, think again. 7th grade demonic treasure, soul spider net. Xianxia flicked something gray at the 4 pygmies. It unveiled itself to their shock and trapped all 4 of them tight. Not even as smoke could they get out, and the net kept tightening, sticking the 4 close to each other so hard they couldn't even breathe. Steward Zhuo, save us, this thing is wicked. The pygmies wailed their distress and begged as the pain mounted and the net shrank. Ha ha ha, Xianxia mocked. Some 6th layer Radiant Stage experts you are, begging a profound heaven cultivator for help. Ha ha ha, this is too funny. Laugh it up. Messing with us means messing with Steward Zhuo. And messing with Steward Zhuo will have your head rolling, ha ha ha. Violent demon cackled despite his plight. His bros copied him, knowing full well that Zhuo Fan had their backs, and that was all they needed. The only way to get these 4 to truly beg for life with snot on their faces was if he lost as well. Zhuo Fan was their thick leg, their tree, their rock. Xianxia frowned. Contrary to his belief, the 4 pygmies weren't Zhuo Fan's bodyguards. The norm would be to beg for life, be stubborn till death, or urge their young master to flee. Why then are these guys not one bit afraid, not for them or for the young master? They aren't worried at all. PFF. The muffled sound roused Xianxia from his thoughts to see Zhuo Fan wearing the same cocky look on his stroll for the herb. The hell, he doesn't care about the fight he just got out of or that the 4 are trapped. Xianxia's suspicions of Zhuo Fan only grew and grew. In this case, there are only 2 possibilities. He's either an ignorant fool, blind to danger, or of such a stable mind, not even the crumbling world could faze. The latter makes him a tough adversary. Han Sancho stood still as he saw Zhuo Fan take the herb with a smile and then walk back to Shui Ruohua. It was the same casual gait, same poise, like the world wasn't even there. The mood grew odd, with the audience too tense to twitch. Only Zhuo Fan was walking calmly. Demon Soul Sect watched Han Sancho with a questioning gaze. "Young master, are you just going to ignore his blatant disregard of us?" Han Sancho never left Zhuo Fan out of his sight, unable to come up with a way to deal with this situation. Zhuo Fan was just too freaky in his demeanor, throwing all his thinking into disarray, while Shui Ruohua had a dull look, bearing a faint smile, and her heart was a mess. Just what is this demonic cultivator up to? "You want this herb?" Dangling the herb in Shui Ruohua's face, Zhuo Fan smiled. "With how hard you fought for it, you must have wanted it." Shui Ruohua stared at him, on high alert. "What do you want?" "Clever, there's no free lunch in the world. You always have to pay something when you want something." Zhuo Fan roamed his eyes over her, truly alike. Eyes going red, Shui Ruohua faltered back. Her mouth was bloody, her cheeks pale, but her eyes still glared. "Demonic cultivator scum, keep dreaming. Don't think you can just have your way with me." Mystical Heaven Sect stared at Zhuo Fan as well. "Ha ha ha, even your temper is the same, just as stubborn." Zhuo Fan ignored everything and only smiled. "Miss, I have no intention to dual cultivate with you, nor bear any ill will. I only have some questions. I hope you'll be honest in exchange for the herb." Shui Ruohua gave him a long look. Zhuo Fan's courteous manner was unlike any demonic cultivator she knew, earning some brownie points but also suspicion. "Is he even a demonic cultivator?" Zhuo Fan smiled. "I'll take Miss' silence as agreement." "Who said?" Zhuo Fan's question cut her off. "Pardon me, miss, but does your sect have someone called Chu Qingcheng hailing from Tianyu's Drifting Flowers edifices?" Shui Ruohua nodded. "Junior sister Qingcheng is master's new disciple and she does come from Tianyu." "Do you know her?" "Ha ha ha, so she really is in Mystical Heaven Sect." Zhuo Fan beamed. "Then how is she?" Zhuo Fan's heart tensed at the question, hanging on Shui Ruohua's reply. He hid his impatience well, but not from a woman's intuition. Shui Ruohua was troubled. Nodding, Shui Ruohua said, "Junior sister is master's last disciple and is always taken care of." "She is very well, great." Zhuo Fan eased a breath, feeling a weight off his shoulders. If Chu Qingcheng was having a bad time in Mystical Heaven Sect, he'd be feeling guilty. He finally calmed down. Handing over the herb, Zhuo Fan smiled. "Thank you, this is for you." Shui Ruohua couldn't believe her eyes. He was serious about wanting only answers in exchange for the 9th grade herb. To say nothing about how common knowledge the information he asked was, he only wanted to know about her junior sister. Shui Ruohua asked, "Who are you? What is your relation to junior sister Chu?" "That is not your concern, miss. You don't need to know about me, and you'd best keep silent about our talk around her as well. The deal is done, so take the herb and go." Zhuo Fan shooed her, his expression flat. What's with him changing tunes so fast? He was so polite a second ago, yet is so indifferent now. Just over some questions. Shui Ruohua was puzzled, even as she got it right. Zhuo Fan got what he wanted and had shirked all pretenses. Han Sancho laughed. "What are you two whispering about over there? In the end, strength is all that matters. Who's going to stop me from getting what I want anyway?" Shui Ruohua tensed up, her mood heavy. Right? They only got the herb because Han Sancho never interfered. Now that he would, she could kiss the herb goodbye. But he'd have another thing coming if he thought she'd just hand it over. Everyone looked at each other in hesitation. Sighing, Zhuo Fan scratched his nose. One should know his limits and not jump all over the place without power. Zhuo Fan now walked towards Han Sancho, same old prancing, causing Han Sancho to turn solemn. For some odd reason, he felt put off by a 6th layer of profound heaven cultivator. "Kid, you took the words right out of my mouth. Without strength, you'd better stop bouncing around." "It's more apt in your case than theirs," Han Sancho probed. Zhuo Fan mocked. "You've got it all wrong. It's not for them but you, cocky prick." Han Sancho unleashed his soul power at Zhuo Fan while shouting, "What could a puny profound heaven cultivator possibly teach me?" Zhuo Fan's mouth perked up into a smirk, releasing a soul attack. Bam! The air around the clash shimmered, with Han Sancho faltering 5 steps and looking at Zhuo Fan like he was a monster. Zhuo Fan never even budged from his place, bearing the same obnoxious attitude. There's no way a mere profound heaven cultivator's soul is stronger than a 7th layer radiant stage expert like me. It makes no sense. Han Sancho was dumbstruck, as were the rest. Who the hell is this kid? A profound heaven expert using his soul like a radiant stage expert was rare enough, but for him to even punch above his weight. Ignoring the weird looks he always seemed to get, Zhuo Fan got to the trapped scheming demons and smiled. Soul spider net, made of a spiritual beast soul to target souls. These shits were bound to be caught, ha ha ha. "Steward Zhuo, save us please," the pygmies whined. Han Sancho gnashed his teeth. "That's a 7th grade demonic treasure only I can control. Ha ha ha, arrogant, narcissistic, and shameless to boot." Zhuo Fan threw in there. Once you know it's made of souls to capture souls, removing it is easy even without knowing the signs. Zhuo Fan's fingertip released an azure flame. He flicked and the azure flame fell on the net. With a beastly cry, wails, and crackling of fire, the net snapped apart. The 4 scheming demons cackled at their newfound freedom. Hi, 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 ignorant little gnat told you so. No one can match our steward Zhuo. Violent demons skipped around. The other 3 joined the mockery. Xianxia was bug-eyed. His dear 7th grade demonic treasure had snapped like a twig. Not that he had any clue about Azure Flame's soul supremacy. As his demonic treasure was made from a beast soul, the flame had no trouble ruining it. Xianxia squinted, glaring at Zhuo Fan, damn brat faking weakness. I underestimated you, but now I will show you my true power, what it means when they say that the world will always have someone better than you. Is that so? Zhuo Fan patronized, lifting his right arm as it glowed in a ghastly red. I have no interest in fighting you, but you better remember this and never step out of line. Zhuo Fan flicked his hand. A red light flashed in everyone's eyes, followed by a kaboom as the world shook. Rocks were flying, dust was picking up, just like the end of days. As the earth swayed under their feet, the audience had to focus to stay steady yet failed miserably, collapsing in tears. What the hell? It was the unanimous thought, scrambling all over the place for cover. As the earth settled at long last and the dust cleared, the scene had their eyes pop out of their sockets, their frail hearts stuck in their throats. The tiny gorge they were in now sported a 1,000-meter-long scar, while the center was a black abyss and its edges worlds apart. Xianxia on one side of the abyss felt weak in the knees, looking at Zhuo Fan as if he was a monster. Where the hell did he come from? He's not human. He was lucky that Zhuo Fan didn't attack or he'd be insta-killed. Recalling his previous taunt, Xianxia was seething with regret. He realized Zhuo Fan was talking about him when he spoke of not having strength, yet he still challenged the guy, only to have a brush with death himself in the end. Zhuo Fan said flatly, "Yours truly is not Zai Yu's son. I am cocky enough because I am strong enough. Cross this line and your head will roll," Xianxia cried inside, panicking. "You dare kill to Demon Soul Sect's young leader, inviting a sect war." Xianxia wanted to use his sect to threaten Zhuo Fan in a futile attempt to preserve a modicum of self-respect. But Zhuo Fan wasn't buying it. Dead men can't snitch. With Zhuo Fan's trademark evil smile back on his face, he scared the living daylights out of Xianxia. His meaning was crystal clear. "If I wanted to kill you, you'd all be dead. How would you snitch to your sect when a flick from me will have you all pulverized, with Demon Soul's sect none the wiser?" Xianxia was soaked with sweat and he felt horror like no other. This is a demon among demons, not showing off, just using simple words to plunge others into hell. Using the same light step and indifference, Zhuo Fan flew away, with the 4 scheming demons cackling behind him. Shui Ruohua had a dull gaze watching him leave, her heart thumping. Who is he? One mystical heaven sect came over, still shaking from fear. "Senior sister, he's terrifying. At least he had no ill will towards us, or we'd be goners." "Yeah," another disciple nodded. "To think demon scheming sect has such a horrifying disciple with power beyond his cultivation. We best return and meet with our fellow disciples to warn them. On the off chance that any of us meet that kid, the first thing to do is to run." The others echoed his sentiments. Shui Ruohua watched the skies, still out of sorts, oblivious to their talks. Who is he? What is he to junior sister? Senior sister. The cry woke her from her stupor to see a disciple panicking as he pointed at the Demon Soul sect on the other side of the abyss. Xianxia is getting up. Shui Ruohua saw Xianxia leaning on another disciple, watching her with malice. Shui Ruohua held the herb tight, her heart on guard for any movement. Though Xianxia just got his feet under him, as he looked at the scar just ahead of him, it filled him with fear and he gave up, shouting, "Let's go." Xianxia's team was soon gone. Mystical Heaven sect breathed easier. Though they wondered, Xianxia has always been brutal in his ways, so how come he's just letting us have the herb? Is the world ending? Fool, isn't it obvious? That freak from Demon Scheming sect just warned him not to cross the line, so of course he won't, not if he wants to keep his head. The others laughed, but the same guy frowned still. But didn't he just leave? What's there to fear? He might have left, but his deterrence remained. Shui Ruohua sighed. "This is a clash of powerful men. You won't understand." Yet this man's simple words had Demon Scheming sect's 3rd young master shaking in fear about crossing the line. Demon Scheming sect now has an unapproachable man. The disciples recalled the man's flick of the hand, unleashing a gulf between the parties, and their hearts sank. Will he become our enemy? Meanwhile, Zhuo Fan and the Pygmy Quartet rushed for Demon Scheming sect. Violent Demon went before him saying, "Steward Zhuo, why did you save that lass? Did she catch your eye?" "As if I only wanted to know about Mystical Heaven sect," Zhuo Fan snorted. Violent Demon nodded. "Then why did you let the prick from Demon Soul sect go? It's not like Sir at all. Are you calling me a born homicidal maniac? Glaring at the four, he continued, he belongs to a great sect. One needs to think of the consequences before crossing the point of no return. Scaring him was enough. While I threatened with obliteration to keep it quiet, no secret stays hidden forever. Unless forced to, I will never go down this road. The four nodded, with violent demon giggling. Steward Zhuo's manner has always been flawless, considering every aspect, ha ha ha. No wonder Sir caught sect leader's eye, wanting you so bad. Yep, his bros echoed, sucking up to the guy. Zhuo Fan shook his head then frowned. I just heard him say something about the middle 3 sects and lower 3 sects. What's that all about? The four choked, then sighed as their glee made way for sadness. Zhuo Fan was baffled. Violent demon finally opened his mouth. Steward Zhuo, it's best if you never mention it, or you'll suffer so bad that not even sect leader could help. What? Zhuo Fan raised an eyebrow. Violent demon sighed. The western lands have 10 sects. Leaving the apex double dragon manor aside, the rest are split into the superior, the middle, and the lower 3 sects. The greater the power of a sect, the more pull and resources it has. Demon Soul sect belongs to the middle 3 sects, while Demon Scheming sect and Mystical Heaven sect are from the lower 3 sects. So each time our disciples meet them, we all feel lacking and get picked on. Yeah, and that time 60 years ago was the worst. In that fight, us four worked together and were even winning. Only for Scrooge Demon to break formation for some demonic treasure, and we ended up losing instead. That's why sect leader threw us in the Thunder Swarm Mountain for all these years. It could have even been a century. Sly Demon turned to Scrooge Demon. Scrooge Demon glared and barked, Old Third, I thought we said we'd never bring this up. Why are you talking about it? To pick a fight? Bam. Scrooge Demon's sucker punched Sly Demon, who punched back, of course, and it all degenerated into a scuffle right there in the air. Zhuo Fan took it in stride as he asked, since Mystical Heaven sect and us are in the lower 3 sects, weaker than them, what is Mystical Heaven sect doing, still fighting over a herb? Steward Zhuo, you don't know, but while we're not up to Demon Soul sects level, we're Tianyu's 3 guardian sects, all brothers. Heaven Trailing sect from the middle 3 sects is our boss covering for us. So as long as nothing grave happens, the Demon Soul sect wouldn't openly challenge us 2 sects either, or Heaven Trailing sect will be bound to step in. As both are middle 3 sects, fighting each other would be the worst scenario. Violent Demon grinned. Zhuo Fan exclaimed inside. He got it now. Demon Scheming sect and Mystical Heaven sect were Heaven Trailing sect's little bros, with the big bro keeping another middle 3 sect from swallowing them. Everyone was one big happy family. When they went to mess with the Beast Taming sect with the 3 elders' souls, I bet all 3 of the sects participated. Or why the hell would the Baron Quanrong hand over such a fertile stretch for Chuoba and company? I reckon Beast Taming sect felt the pressure of the 3 sects on it and had no choice in the matter. The Quanrong Emperor saw the Beast Taming sect agreeing, so he added one more condition, to get Chuoba back home as well. He had to get something out of this loss. Thus, the 3 sects nabbed that fertile stretch of land. No wonder in the days of young Sanzi's chaos around Tianyu, the Empire's 3 guardian sects passed the blame. They wanted nothing to do with it. As long as the borders held, they didn't give a flying hoot about Tianyu's politics. That had Zhuo Fan smiling. The sects extorted the Empire of resources, yet didn't even raise a helping hand. On the other hand, only their indifference led to the former emperor's plan to work. Zhuo Fan sighed, following the 4 pygmies who were always fighting, ever quarreling. This was how the 5 flew to the Demon Scheming sect. 2 weeks later at dawn, 5 dots trailed the sky. Steward Zhuo, we're here, that's the entrance. Violent Demon pointed at some dark spot in the woods below. All Zhuo Fan saw was trees and more trees, and some random beasts as well. It wasn't hard to understand why. Demon Scheming sect was hiding behind a barrier. Whoosh, the 5 figures landed before the trees, with the pygmies making some signs. With fluctuations of space and the shouts of the 4, the space in front of them twisted. A mighty tall mountain appeared up ahead, with them at its foot. But this view rippled about like a pool of water. Zhuo Fan knew it to be the entrance and waltzed right in. He was now in a whole new world, with thick spiritual energy as much as 10 times thicker than outside. A secluded sect indeed, and the perfect place to cultivate, Zhuo Fan gasped. Then a voice with an attitude slammed into their ears. Who dares to breach Demon Scheming sect entrance? Whoosh, something trailed the sky like a cold star, shooting for Zhuo Fan. He took a step back to look up. A blade brushed his nose, followed by a soft wrist. Quick to react, Zhuo Fan grabbed the hand, only to hear a charming cry as the elegant owner revealed herself. It was an 18-year-old girl, with shining eyes, flawless eyebrows, and innocent looks. Though those mesmerizing eyes flashed with chilling murder intent. A demonic sect disciple indeed, so young and so psychotic. Squinting, the seasoned Zhuo Fan saw through her on the spot, yet shook his head. Walking the secular world, he had seen Luo Yuncheng's kindness, Ninger's innocence, King Cheng's righteousness, and Shuenger's mercy. Now that he was back among his people, among demons, he found himself out of place. Seeing this girl, he recalled the first time he ever entered a demonic sect as well, the cruelty and blatant ruthlessness to everything mortal he came to borrow in his very nature. As if his sole purpose on this God's green earth was to wreck it, demons were born and died in the heart. Having seen the wonders of the world, it had a negative effect on his demonic nature. Or more aptly put, it transformed, growing to a whole new level. Clueless as to how high, all he knew was that he had a steadier heart than even the past demonic emperor. Ha ha ha, newborn chick, you've just stepped into the demonic sect and so you challenge an eagle. The young sure are filled with ambition. A shame you're far from being an eagle. Clang. Zhuo Fan twisted her hand behind her, making her grimace. She swished her head back at him but never made a peep, only gnashing her teeth. Zhuo Fan raised an eyebrow. She sure is obstinate. The girl then twisted her body, dislocating her shoulder with a crack. Her other hand sported a short blade and drove it towards Zhuo Fan. Zhuo Fan was shocked. This lass is the quintessence of the demonic path. She's just like me back in the day. A kind of empathy grew in Zhuo Fan's heart. The girl had the same cultivation as him, but that was where the resemblance stopped. Zhuo Fan's soul was tougher than a radiant stage expert. There was no way for her to catch him off guard, not while he used his soul to scan her every movement. Yet Zhuo Fan didn't mind giving her a freebie. Snicked, the short blade plunged into Zhuo Fan's chest. The girl lit up and beamed. You're happy over something like this? Getting overconfident over a fluke leaves one wide open for a sudden death, a mistake common in youngsters. The girl cried suddenly and found Zhuo Fan smiling back with no anger in his voice. The girl was startled. He's strange. What's he smiling about despite me stabbing him? Did he do it on purpose? No way, no one's that stupid. One thing was certain though, the blade did nothing to him. So she pulled it out to try again, this time going for Zhuo Fan's throat. Cease at once, the bark announced 4 trails of smoke coming into the sect then reforming in front of the girl. Watching Zhuo Fan get stabbed by the girl, the 4 scheming demons were about to tear her into 4. Zhuo Fan shouted, "You stop, let her go." Pa, the girl slammed the ground hard, watching the 4 angry faces in the smoke with daze. Violent demon glared at her. Damn brat, you dare kill inside demon scheming sect. Who put you up to this? Who are you? Why did you open the demon scheming sect's barrier? The girl frowned, yet there was no fear in her features. Zhuo Fan admired her. The girl has some backbone. The 4 gave a creepy laughter and violent demon mocked. Hi, missy, you sure are ignorant. We are the demonic cultivator hero quartet having roamed the lands for years. Everyone knows us, everyone fears us. Well, I don't know, how could the demon scheming sect have someone like you? So shady, so shifty, and so creepy. The girl snorted. The 4 scheming demons exploded in rage. Hey broad, want to see yourself without a mouth? To hell with it, that'll be too easy for her. Let's tear her into 4. No 8, no 16, no 100. The 4 scheming demons went back to arguing over the girl's execution method when a giggle came. Oh, the 4 executives. Why are you quarreling at the door? Do you want to have an elder throw you in that lightning prison again forever? The 4 became deathly quiet as they saw a lady in her 30s, seductive and spruced up like a cougar. The girl cried at her appearance, "Senior sister, they're actually one of us. Didn't you say you don't know them?" Ha ha ha, silly girl. These 4 are demon scheming sects, wildly renowned 4 scheming demons who once shook the world with their names. They only came back not long ago and became executives. You were still in seclusion at the time, training in demon-devouring saber. The lady interrupted with a giggle. The 4 scheming demons saw her buttering them up. They chuckled as well, sticking out their chins in immense pride. Zhuo Fan, though, grinned for a different reason. The girl grumbled, is demon scheming sect so empty to even have these weirdos become executives? Hey, I resent that. Think I won't tear you a new one? Violent demon snapped. Zhuo Fan patted his shoulder. Miss is just blunt, so let it go. Since I am new, why don't you introduce me to these lovely ladies? The 4 scheming demons jerked and watched Zhuo Fan with a quirky look. When did Steward Zhuo become so interested in women? Having no choice, they complied with a laugh. He, never thought I'd hear Steward Zhuo say that. All right, who mayor, tend to great Steward Zhuo. Violent demons snickered at the lady. The girl had a hard glare for them as she reprimanded. Sex rules forbids affairs. You 4 know this fully well. I'll be reporting you to the sect leader, so await your punishment. Hey, missy, I find tearing your mouth off more and more appealing. Violent demon cracked his knuckles, only to have Zhuo Fan stop him. Zhuo Fan said flatly, Miss, I am a new disciple and only wish to make some new friends. I have no other meaning. All the girl did was huff, while Hu Mayer was very friendly, taking Zhuo Fan's hand with tenderness and tracing her hand in his long white hair, a new disciple. It must have been so hard for you out there in the wild to have white hair at such a young age. You must be traumatized. I'm okay, Zhuo Fan smiled. Hu Meier's hands roamed over him more and more in clear disregard. But now that you're here, I will take good care of you. You don't have to worry about anything. Thank you, senior sister. Zhuo Fan smiled, his heart a rock. Violent demon giggled. Hu Meier, he is in your care, so you better not neglect him. I could never have the heart to forget such a cute junior brother. Patting Zhuo Fan's cheek, she giggled. But why are you calling him Steward Zhuo? Is that his name, Guanjia? No, I have only been a clan steward before this. Zhuo Fan smiled. My name is Zhuo Fan. Hu Meier nodded. Zhuo Fan, outstanding and amazing. What a good name. Of course, Steward Zhuo is an almighty hero that sect leader has personally invited. He is, at the very least, an elite, a future sect leader. A good name is a given. Violent Demon laughed with his head back like he had picked the name, but Hu Meier blushed while her eyes glinted. As for the junior miss, she sat on the ground with an arm limp by her side, ignoring everything, even the next sect leader she just tried assassinating. If Zhuo Fan were to be Zai Weiyu's successor, her future was destined to be bleak. Hu Meier's eyes spun and she giggled while asking Violent Demon, executives don't tease. Inner disciples have to be in the radiant stage at the very least, to say nothing of elite disciples. While junior brother here, you're looking down on our Steward Zhuo. Violent Demon laughed. Steward Zhuo is so otherworldly that no common sense can describe him. The way I see it, even being an elite is a waste. He's better off working as executive from the start. No, that is beneath Steward Zhuo's talents. He should be an elder. Sly Demon sucked up. Wimp Demon threw in his 2 cents. Elder won't do either. A venerable is more like it. What venerable? Just make Zai Weiyu retire and have him become sect leader already. The 4 scheming demons got rowdier and more obnoxious while Hu Meier's cheeks twitched. Something's seriously wrong with their heads. She had long since heard of their illustrious infamy. I won't get anything about the kid out of these weirdos. Then again, with how they suck up to the kid and treat him with such respect, he must have deep ties in the sect. Hu Meier eyed the ever-cool Zhuo Fan, unfazed by the 4's outrageous display. Like a well whose waters never ended. Miss, what might be your name? Zhuo Fan turned to the girl. She only spared him a glance, then huffed. Ha ha ha, Hu Meier giggled. Junior brother Zhuo, she is Yuer, an outer disciple with the same cultivation as you, in the 6th layer of profound heaven stage. She will be your senior sister. It's best if you get along, ha ha ha. Yuer, Zhuo Fan raised an eyebrow, then picked up the discarded short blade. The curved weapon was 4th grade demonic treasure, bearing the name of the moon and wielding a full moon blade. How fitting, Yuer just glared. Yet she was caught by surprise as Zhuo Fan traced her neck with her weapon. Widening her eyes, Yuer could not dodge because of the heavy wound she had. Hu Meier was startled as well to learn that a new disciple would raise his hand at a fellow disciple. The 4 scheming demons snickered. They never tried stopping Steward Zhuo's actions, not like they could. Besides, it wasn't like sect leader would cry over the death of some nobody outer disciple. He wouldn't have invited Zhuo Fan just to lash out at him, no. The glinting blade reflected Yuer's panicked eyes. But her will never wavered, relentless even in the face of death. Whoosh, the blade stopped just shy of her skin. She still felt its sharp edge, being on the brink of death. Gulp. Yuer looked around nervously at Zhuo Fan, her very first time looking him in the eye. What was revealed was a twisted and insidious smile. Letting go of the blade, Zhuo Fan laughed. Lass, your sneaky attack had me frightened. Now I've returned the favor and we're even, ha ha ha. Steward Zhuo, she has hurt you and yet you're letting her go with just a scare. Violent Demon glanced at the blood on Zhuo Fan's chest. Zhuo Fan shook his hand. I just got here and senior sister Yuer and I only exchanged greetings. You better not go snitching to sect leader either. Forget this ever happened. Yes, sir. The 4 scheming demons shrugged and cupped their hands. Hu Meier was even more startled. These 4 weren't just looking after the kid, but are his lackeys. Is he some venerable's heir? Hu Meier sized Zhuo Fan harder. Junior brother Zhuo is mighty and grand, just like father. When did you see my old man? Zhuo Fan snickered inside, knowing fully well that she was playing with him. So he gave a vague answer. Senior sister Meier is too kind. But since you mentioned father, I remember him telling me that the sect has a disciple called who is thoughtful and kind. He must have meant you, senior sister Meier. He always said having senior sister Meier tending to me is the utmost bliss. Ugh, the 4 scheming demons looked at him oddly. When did he have a dad and why didn't we hear of him? And since he knows Hu Meier, is he perhaps in the sect? Hu Meier was stunned. He must have backing, but whose? While she wanted to dig further, Zhuo Fan cut their meeting short with a bow. We should be going now to meet sect leader. Farewell here, senior sister Yuer. Zhuo Fan handed her the curved blade and Yuer took it with a cold glare. Zhuo Fan and the 4 pygmies left Hu Meier alone with her doubts. Yuer, go tend to your wounds. Senior sister has some matters to tend to. Hu Meier was gone the next second. Yuer nodded inside, putting on a hurtful look like a kicked puppy, while Zhuo Fan and the 4 mini-demons passed by many great buildings. Violent Demon asked puzzled, Steward Zhu, you're just gonna let that girl go after hurting you, or should we look for a chance to waste her? Ha ha ha, you'd better not, I just like the last character. Just like me back when I stepped on the demonic path, blunt like a birch stump. Zhuo Fan snickered. As they say, the fool strikes while the wise talks. Yue might be the one who attacked, but I knew from a glance that she was oblivious to everything, ending up being used. It was the late arrival, who came to mediate and to loosen my tongue. If we'd not leave the matter at that, she'd have killed us all. Zhuo Fan breathed in. 4 scheming demons. Did anyone else know about my coming to demon scheming sect? Why was someone after me the instant I got here? Well, the 4 scheming demons shook their heads and Violent Demon shrugged. That's normal. Demon scheming sect's competitiveness is ruthless. And since we're a demonic sect, it goes double for its disciple. You know it very well how cruel our methods are, using others' souls and flesh to practice skills. Where are we supposed to get the raw material? Going after other sects will blow in our face and lead to war. Only by weeding out the weak and making them our furnace can the elite be born. Losing here means death. Right. We only succeeded to train in our unity tactic all because we used 999 disciples' souls. That's how we can turn to smoke. Sly Demon bobbed his head. No one knew better than Zhuo Fan just how cruel and twisted the demonic path was. The loser went through hell while the winner had everything, standing above everyone. Yu must have leaked it on purpose to get the disciples' attention fixed on me. Mayor just now was sizing his potential, whether to take him out or not. A tough backing didn't absolve one of attacks, it only made the enemy more cautious when he acted, while having no one behind him at all would make anyone attack him on the spot to nip him in the bud. Zhuo Fan snickered. You'll have another thing coming if some hatchlings on the demonic path can trick me. Once yours truly becomes an elite disciple, you'll all fall in line. Is that the disciple sect leader recruited? Deep in the forest of a cloudy weathered peak, a figure scoffed at the 5 of them, 6th layer of profound heaven stage, so average. Yet sect leader not only recruited him but even used a 9th grade pill. Mayor sighed from behind him with equal disdain. That fool is quite interesting. It was Yue who stabbed him, yet he took the first step in putting the matter behind them. And from his tone, his father must be someone high up in the sect. Hi, he's just like a prodigal son, naive and innocent, unlike a demonic cultivator. Pulling strings to get in, sect leader isn't that immoral. The man's eyes glinted, his smile cold, or maybe he has a nice talent to catch sect leader's attention. Oh, what about his fight with Yue? Second senior brother, he is weak as a bug. He did break Yue's arm, but she stabbed his chest. His win is marginal. That means his strength is nothing special, typical of a 6th layer of profound heaven cultivator. Second senior brother rubbed his chin. Let's wait for the sect leader's decision. Making him an inner disciple with the sect leader's personal instructions will mean he has outstanding talent and he is a threat to us. If he's put with the outer disciples, he must have plenty of connections. Sect leader and the venerable must have reached a secret agreement. Mayor broke into an enchanting smile, her eyes taunting. The little guy looked so pure, dumber than even Yue. Sect leader has no time for his kind. The latter has a much higher probability. My thoughts exactly. Second senior brother had a wide grin, laughing along with Mayor. The 5 finally arrived at the sect's grand hall, where sect leader along with venerables and elders were present. Violent Demon eyed the closed doors with a smile. He didn't get to report their arrival when the doors opened to reveal a middle-aged man with a pencil mustache. The 4 scheming demons bowed. Elder Yao, N. He nodded and turned to Zhuo Fan. Are you the new disciple, Zhuo Fan? I am. Zhuo Fan gave a respectful reply. By the order of the sect leader, Zhuo Fan is to enter the labor office. He will be a labor disciple. Take him away. Elder Yao left them speechless. Labora, Zhuo Fan's eyes twitched as all 5 shouted the word with dull and incredulous faces. Tianyu's finest steward, the demonic emperor, head of the 8 emperors in sacred domain, came to your sect to be a laborer. Yu, get the hell out. I promise not to kill you much. You wasted a 9th grade pill just to get a slave. Zhuo Fan's face twisted into a grimace. Violent Demon panicked. Elder Yao, that can't be right. Steward Zhu is versed in letters and martial arts. How can a rare genius end up as a laborer? No mistake, these are the sect leader's orders. Now take him to his post, his work begins tomorrow. Elder Yao eyed them coldly, then slammed the doors, almost catching Violent Demon in between. Shrugging helplessly, the 4 pygmies sighed. Zhuo Fan held his head, unable to come to terms with his new reality. Just what the hell is Yu up to? Planning so hard to get him, only to work his ass doing housework. Are you that short on staff that you'll throw a 9th grade pill as incentive? While in the forest, second senior brother and Mayor were just as speechless. Second senior brother, no matter how average he may be, he is still in the profound heaven stage. He's good enough to become an outer disciple, so why punish him by throwing him in the labor office? He just got here and hasn't stepped on anyone's toes. Hu Meier was puzzled. Second senior brother frowned, then his eyes lit up. Maybe. Do you know something? Hu Meier asked. Senior brother mocked. It's just like junior sister said, he pulled strings to get here. As you very well know, for any disciple to join, he needs two people's vetting, sect leader and High Venerable. With High Venerable's upright and fair nature, he follows the sect's rules to the letter. Especially in the case of prodigal sons using their dads to squeeze their way in. He hates their guts, and ever since the defeat at the last double dragon gathering, his mood has been even worse. There's a high chance sect leader and that Venerable's deal got found out. So they reached a new agreement. The kid can enter, but not as an elite, and cannot participate in the double dragon gathering. No laborer is good for anything, and they'd be soon taken out just after entering the sect. They're useless, that takes care of him then. Hu Meier giggled at the other's misfortune. Second senior brother shook his head. I don't think so. If he'd come here just to die, there's no way the one behind him would have agreed. I reckon it was all to give him time to grow in power and become an elder or venerable the sect needs, and he'll get all the resources he wants. While anyone from the labor office can't become an elite disciple, there's nothing to say being an elder or venerable isn't possible. For this reason, High Venerable buted in, to stop wastrels from dragging back the elites and to avoid a single dominant clan to form inside the sect. Hu Meier nodded in understanding, then batted her big charming eyes. Should we keep an eye on him for longer? What for? Ha ha ha, since his chance to become elite is shot and he can't join the double dragon gathering, he's no threat to us. Just let him be, waiting in the labor office for the time his backer makes him an elder. Second senior brother left in joy having one roadblock cleared. Hu Meier gave Zhuo Fan one last look, but sneered before following the second senior brother. They had no interest in some wastrel whose only redeeming quality was some backer. They only had disdain for him. If it weren't for this, they might have risen to be in the middle three sects in the last double dragon gathering. Outside the hall, Zhuo Fan and the pygmies sat on the stairs, like an adult reprimanding four naughty children while enjoying some fresh air. Sigh, Zhuo Fan entered a thinker pose. The four demons copied him. Sigh, four scheming demons, give it to me straight. What's a labor in the sect? Not high, probably. Zhuo Fan raised an eyebrow, gnashing his teeth. Violent demon began. Labor office is the sect jail for unredeemable criminals. Once you go in, you'll never get out. No matter what trouble we used to make, the most was that we got sent to Thunder Swarm Mountain. It is a disciple's grave. The disciples who have failed the entrance test end up here, getting no resources and wasting their lives away until they die of old age. Someone yearning for power always appears now and then, and through grueling dedication to cultivate, they would become elders upon reaching radiant stage as a reward for their willpower. With Steward Zhu joining them, you'd have no trouble becoming an elder on account of your talents. Wimp Demon consoled. He only earned a cuff from Violent Demon. You morons, Steward Zhu is to be a sect leader, not some executive like us. That's a waste of talent. The other three didn't join the fight and actually nodded. For the first time ever, Wimp Demon had no resentment, giving Zhuo Fan looks of pity. To him, Zhuo Fan was a true cultivator of the demonic way. It was then that the faint crack in the open doors of the hall shut tight. The insides were lavish and opulent, with braziers raging bright light over the wealth in two neat rows. In the center sat the imposing Zai Weiyu on an exquisite jade throne, looking down on the hall. Elder Yao came in with a bow. Sect leader, I have sent the kid to the labor office as you ordered. Good, you may leave. Yes, sir. Elder Yao bowed as he walked backward. As the hall became empty, Zai Weiyu turned to the seat next to him, who had a just as grand person seated on it. High Venerable, are you satisfied? Such a talent thrown into labor. Humph, now all our hopes to win in the next double dragon gathering are crushed. Sect leader cares much about him, but I find it hard to second that emotion and would rather watch him from the shadows. Just what kind of junior could get Sir Sect Leader to use even a 9th grade pill to draw him into the sect? With a hum, the large seat sported a figure in gray clothes. Zai Weiyu sighed, those wastrels must have given you quite the scare, High Venerable, for you to go against even my candidate for double dragon gathering. But you are wrong, I am just like you, aspiring for the double dragon gathering and would let no one stop me in achieving it. I want to become the greatest sect leader the demon scheming sect has ever seen. As his eyes flashed, Zai Weiyu's mighty aura exploded. High Venerable nodded. Weiyu, you've been to the last double dragon gathering and know of our humiliating defeat. I've never doubted your conviction to win, but to let a kid not even in the radiant stage become an elite disciple is something I can't do. Ha ha ha, it's fine. The kid is no mere shining gemstone, and you'll see it in time. He has every right to be the pillar holding us all in the double dragon gathering. Laughing, Zai Weiyu walked away from his throne. High Venerable watched him go with a mutter. No one has ever garnered such praise from Weiyu. Is the kid that amazing? Impermanence 5, what do you think? 5 elderly figures appeared around High Venerable. When the kid used the sending jade to request for help, Weiyu wanted to send someone else, but I vouched for you. Also, I could have you check him out if he's worthy to be an elite. Well, High Venerable asked. Elder, she replied, High Venerable, we did lend Luo clan our aid, and even with the short time around the kid, we did manage to pick up on his sharp mind and wisdom, just like our sect leader. He has a vaulting ambition and is the sole decisive figure. He is manipulative to an extent even the sect leader can't be. Oh, so he's a tough one. High Venerable nodded. Here I thought he was soft and can't hold his own. That makes Weiyu's evaluation trustworthy. When we captured beast-taming sect's elders, one of them had no body. After a summary questioning, we found out that his vessel got destroyed by that kid. Elder, she continued. High Venerable cried out, what? Is he not a profound heaven cultivator? How did he destroy an ethereal stage expert's body? Ha ha ha, those 3 experts were so dumb that they fell for his every trick. But for a kid to have 3 experts dance in his palm, with one getting heavily injured, now that's talent. Elder, she smiled. High Venerable pondered. Elder, she resumed, does Sir remember those 4 scheming demons, the twerps? Those mavericks had no control, no amount of punishment worked on them, always doing what the heck they wanted. Thus sect leader has no choice but to throw them in Thunder Swarm Mountain. Yet now they've shown up with smoother edges, especially around Zhuo Fan. The thought of going against his orders never crossed their minds, and they even stood up for him. Elder Yan noticed that the kid has the charm of a ruler drawing people towards him. He may be the person Sir has been searching for. Shuddering, High Venerable eyed the 5 as they nodded. His eyes glinted. Perhaps I ought to test the kid, ha ha ha. Evening, a time when the crimson sun bids goodbye to the 5 lonely figures shuffling down the path. Zhuo Fan walked at a snail's pace on the weeded path, as if he was going on a road of no return, dragging it out as excruciatingly long as possible. Yet it only delayed the inevitably cruel fate destiny had for him. Steward Zhuo, here is the labor office. Violent Demon lifted a weary finger at the shoddy and small building. Zhuo Fan was stunned at the sight. It was worthy of its name, a dump just like his house in the slums of Drifting Flowers City. The only saving grace in that case was that his stay was temporary, while now he had no frickin' clue how to leave this shithole. Zai Weiyu, you haven't seen the last of me. You think it's funny, using a 9th grade pill just to get me thrown in this thing, Zhuo Fan spat. The 4 scheming demons shrugged. Violent Demon shouted, whoever is in there, get out now. I'm coming, I'm coming. A panicky voice replied, followed by an old man in ragged clothes and white beard running over. He bowed and flattered Violent Demon. Ha ha ha, elders, what can I do for you? Zhuo Fan's gang looked with disdain at the 5th layer bone-tempering elder, so old yet only in the bone-tempering stage. Such a poor talent this secular world has, that's why he's here and this is where he'll meet his end. The 5 shook their heads. The old man ignored their blatant disdain and wore a wide smile. Hey, old-timer, where are the rest of you? Don't tell me you're the only one here. Violent Demon finally found a chance to be high and mighty. Though the high part was questionable, the mighty part more than made up for it. The old guy bowed, giving a humble reply. Elder, they're all out working, watering the herb gardens, sweeping and cleaning. Are you the one in charge here? Violent Demon continued. The old man beamed a yellow smile. I am Yuan Xingeng, the one taking care of this place and already 100 years old. A bone-tempering cultivator got to 100 in this place. Zhuo Fan eyed the old-timer. The 4 pygmies said the labor office was the sect's dump used as consumables in others' training. The old-timer must have had some luck to reach 100 in this hellhole. The old man noticed his doubt and spoke softly. Young master, surviving the labor office is a bit tricky. Either work hard to be an elder or lay lower like a pygmy. He, that's me, Tiny. To be taken away for practice, one must first have some value. I've suppressed my cultivation and look utterly worthless to everyone, thus reaching old age. I must admit I am the oldest one here, so I ended up looking after the place. Like the old adage, the tallest tree gets the wind. So this guy kept himself too plain, the king of nobodies. Zhuo Fan sighed. If it were me, knowing I'd one day end up under someone's knife, I'd just fight my way out. Why wait here for death? Young master, that is such a simple way of thinking. The disciples in the labor office all have low cultivation and don't know how to open the barrier. How can we get out? The old man sighed. The world is cruel and everyone is its fodder. A man's fate has always been to struggle against death since birth, and the only thing that can change this is one's skill. By escaping the depths of misery, one would finally attain strength. Zhuo Fan eyed the old-timer in surprise. To think an old bone-tempering cultivator would have such a deep insight into the world's nature. The old man returned to his servile manner with a smile. Elders, where are my manners? How may I address you? We will be here together after all. Hee, old-timer, perk your ears. We are the graceful and magnificent demonic cultivator hero quartet of the demon scheming sect, the 4 scheming demons. Violent demon grinned, his nose way up high. The old man cried, "Ah, executives, forgive my lack of manners. May I ask what sirs are doing here? Who's the blind fool that forgot to sweep? That's not it. We don't even know our home's cleaner, hee. Violent demon waved and his brothers laughed, pointing at Zhuo Fan. We came here because Steward Zhuo has irked the sect leader for some odd reason, getting demoted to the labor office. It's fine though, since this'll be just a short stop. Take good care of him or you'll be liable. Elders, I'd never neglect young Master Zhuo, moreover." Then he glanced at Zhuo Fan. With his profound heaven cultivation, there's nothing I can do to him. Only labor office does have some unruly young masters. What unruly? Just use our title. Violent demons snorted and barked, causing the old man to shy away. Zhuo Fan figured out more as he said, "Is your title that well known to quell anyone? In this dump, everything will rest on me in the end." The 4 exchanged a glance and laughed. Steward Zhuo is right. With your skills, you don't need our care. Then, sir, have a nice stay while we'll be making inquiries as to how this happened in the first place. We will get you out. Violent demon nodded, his gaze firm. The other 3 echoed him. The old man watched it all with a glint in his eyes. After many demons repeated warnings to the old guy, they cupped their hands at Zhuo Fan and flew away. Zhuo Fan chuckled. He never thought the day would come when these 4 shits would look after him. Mr. Zhuo has such nice friends. I've seen my fair share of strong people coming to labor office, but never before like Mr. Zhuo, with so many executives looking after him. The old man spoke simply. Zhuo Fan smiled, "Just Zhuo Fan. I will be calling Sir Elder Yuan. That won't do, I can't accept it." The old man waved his hands around. "I'm but a bone-tempering cultivator, a whole stage beneath, sir. Ha, what's that got to do with anything? When I respect someone, they have something of worth. Sir's cultivation is low, but your insight into the world can't be compared. All that's left is for your talent to increase, and sky is the limit." Zhuo Fan beamed as his hand now held a vial. "This is my clan's heaven-reaching pill. It enhances the body and makes cultivation easier. Let us expound on the heavenly Tao together." Startled, the old man received the vial. The soothing aroma coming from it had him flabbergasted. TT 10th grade pill. Elder Yuan is truly wise. At the bone-tempering stage, yet aware of such a pill. Zhuo Fan raised an eyebrow. Gulping and struggling to regain calm, Yuan Xingeng gave a dry laugh. "In my days as a laborer, I helped an alchemist around and had the fortune to witness a 10th grade pill. I never imagined I'd be seeing one again. Mr. Zhuo, this is our first time meeting, yet I feel ashamed accepting such a lavish gift. Ha, it's fine, there's plenty of it where that came from." Zhuo Fan shrugged. That had Elder Yuan stumble, looking back at Zhuo Fan with a freaky gaze. Mr. Zhuo, where did you say you were again? If you have 10th grade pills, why would you come to demon scheming sect? Can't help it when you're obligated." Zhuo Fan shook his head, then looked at the crumbling building. "Elder Yuan, where will I be staying?" Yuan Xingeng turned from him to the pill, having mixed feelings. "Holy moly, a big shot has come to town. What a godly return, using a 10th grade pill to pay back for a 9th grade pill. In a field of flowers, people with white robes and the mystical words sewn on their shoulders in gold landed. Rustle, they all made a sign, and the flower field shimmered, turning into a lofty landscape of towering mountains. One pale woman with blood on her lips stepped forward in silence. Her arrival had people shouting, "Someone help, senior sister Shui is hurt." Ripples came from a deep cave in the mountain, from the 4 elegant women holding their hands in a circle and releasing prismatic lights. Next to them stood a grizzled old man with a long beard and a fine young man with soft features in his 20s. But his waning face betrayed his fragile health. He coughed on and off, his eyes filled with worry. "Elder Su, wasn't senior sister Ruohua's condition light? Why isn't it improving? Should we notify father and the venerables?" The young man sighed. Elder Su smiled. "Young master, these 4 are executing the 4-element cycle array, holding metal, wood, water, and fire. And by connecting with the earth, the cycle is complete. Under the effect of this great cycle, Ruohua's condition will improve in no time at all. There's no need to bother sect leader and the others over such a trifle." The young man nodded, but was worried still. After another ripple, the 4 women took back their power and the prismatic glow faded. They opened their eyes and stood up. Shui Ruohua bowed to the other 3 in gratitude. "Thank you, junior sisters, for saving me. Senior sister, it's nothing." The others returned her gesture. The young man walked over impatiently and grew excited at Shui Ruohua's healthy state. Cough, "Senior sister Ruohua, are you all right?" Ha, of course, silly brother." Shui Ruohua ruffled his hair and the boy smiled. They had grown up together and were practically kin. Despite the difference in status, he still treated her like family. Just then an icy tone echoed, "Senior sister, since you're all right, I'll return to my training." The woman in white caught their attention, possessing a blinding beauty but an icy character. No other than Chu Qingcheng. The young man stared at Chu Qingcheng's delicate face, then shied away. When he finally mustered his courage, he said, "Junior sister Qingcheng, isn't it dull having cultivated day in day out since the moment you came to Mystical Heaven sect? You've finally taken a walk outside, yet you want to return already. Young Master Xianxia, practice makes perfect and cultivation requires dedication. The only reason I'm in Mystical Heaven sect is to cultivate. If not for senior sister Ruohua's wounds needing the 4-element cycle array, I would never have walked outside." Chu Qingcheng's icy tone came. The others shook their heads. "Junior sister Qingcheng has always been a frozen blade, cold inside and out." The young man sighed. "I've seen beauties all my life, yet the only one to have touched my heart is this ice princess. Besides being so uninterested in others, she also keeps everyone at a distance." Xuan Xianxia had a bitter smile, his wan face turning whiter. Shui Ruohua knew his thinking fully well and shook her head. "Not just anyone can thaw the frozen heart of an ice princess. Junior sister Chu, please wait," Shui Ruohua called out to her before she left. Chu Qingcheng turned around in puzzlement. Shui Ruohua said, "As I was in danger while getting the herb, I met someone. He seemed to have a connection with you, so I hope junior sister can attest." "With me?" Frowning, Chu Qingcheng looked even more skeptical. "Didn't third young master Han hurt you? What does he have to do with me?" Elder Su was also curious. "Ruohua, the disciples said Demon Soul sect's third young master Han hurt you. Qingcheng and they have no relationship, so why would you ask this?" "Elder, allow me to explain. Third young master Han did hurt me, but..." Shui Ruohua gave Chu Qingcheng a long look. "The one to save me was from the demon scheming sect." "What?" They all looked at her in shocked silence. Xuan Xianxia even more so. "There's nothing but open hostility between our sects. Why would they ever go on demon scheming sect's bad side for us? He didn't save Mystical Heaven sect, just that it had something to do with Qingcheng." Shui Ruohua had a bitter smile. It left them even more confused about Chu Qingcheng's relationship with demon scheming sect. Chu Qingcheng was just as confused. Elder Su's beard shook and he stared at Shui Ruohua in all seriousness. "Ruohua, explain just what is going on." "It's like this." Shui Ruohua got her thoughts together and said, "We discovered a 9th grade herb in a valley, the tricolor soul-fixing grass." "That's great. Did you get it?" Elder Su jumped in. Shui Ruohua rolled her eyes and revealed the herb in a flash of white. "Of course. I'd go through hell if it means I can heal brother Xianxia." "Sister Ruohua, thank you." Cough. Xuan Xianxia had a coughing fit as he thanked her. Elder Su was overjoyed. Go on, ha ha ha. We couldn't get a hold of it actually because Demon Soul Sect came for it as well." Shui Ruohua explained. "Demon Soul Sect's third young master Han was strong, and I ended up badly hurt after one move. Third young master Han is despicable to not even spare women. The next time we sisters meet him, we'll give him a lesson in manners with the 4-element cycle array." One pretty lady in red robes snorted. Shui Ruohua glanced over, but smiled and wiggled her cute button nose. "Third young master Han isn't just anybody. Don't underestimate him," but even a young master from the middle 3 sects had met his nemesis this time. All turned quiet, even the fiery lady, hanging on Shui Ruohua's every word. "When I was on the brink of death, a man showed up. He merely flicked his hand and scarred the land in 2 halves, forcing third young master Han to never overstep that line. Even as the man left, third young master Han never crossed it." Shui Ruohua's heart thrummed as well, recalling that scene. "He is the one who gave me the herb, a man from Demon Scheming Sect." SSS, everyone gasped and looked shocked. Why would Demon Scheming Sect help them without rhyme or reason? The lady in red blinked her big purty eyes, her smile naughty. "Senior sister Ruohua, did he fancy you and wanted some dual cultivation? You mustn't fall for it. Demonic cultivators are vile and insidious." Shui Ruohua winced, then shook her head. "Even as she felt let down for some reason, he gave me the herb with one condition. His target wasn't me, but..." Shui Ruohua looked at Chu Qingcheng. "He asked 2 questions about junior sister Chu Qingcheng, then gave me the herb." "Which 2?" Chu Qingcheng asked eagerly. "If you're in Mystical Heaven sect and if you're doing well," Shui Ruohua replied. Chu Qingcheng asked again, even more eager, "What's his name?" "I don't know. He asked me to forget all about it. But those 4 radiant stage pygmies called him Steward Zhuo. It's really him." Chu Qingcheng shook with pure joy. Her icy features melted into a beautiful smile. "He." Mrs. Mi, 2 trails of tears accompanied her bright smile. Everyone was stumped, having never seen her smile and finding it a work of art. They also never expected her beauty to be so radiant. An unsmiling Chu Qingcheng was already a worldly beauty, yet now she was divine. Just who is he to make junior sister Qingcheng so overjoyed just from hearing his name? Balling his fist, Xuan Xianxia's eyes glinted with envy. Shui Ruohua shook her head, but Zhuo Fan's courteous manner made her smile. He is a demon who is able to worm his way into your heart. The moon hung high above the black eerie sky in complete silence. Zhuo Fan sat in a shoddy house, eyes closed and an azure flame flashing on his forehead. He had little clue about how to use Kun Peng's gift initially, but the sacred beast had pointed out that it was second to none when it came to soul refining. With the flame nurturing his soul, it grew clearer and stronger, faster than ever. But a frown set in on Zhuo Fan's face due to the cawing outside, and the azure flame faded out. Zhuo Fan, wake up. We have to gather, an aged voice echoed with anxiousness, followed by Elder Yuan opening his door and pulling Zhuo Fan outside. Zhuo Fan inquired, Elder Yuan, why all the rush? Oh, right, you've just arrived. Two sirs have called for all the laborers. We've got to move fast or our lives are forfeit. Elder Yuan's eyes swam with panic. Zhuo Fan was even more baffled, too. Wasn't the labor office under your administration? I only have an honorary position. Whenever there's someone stronger around, he's the one in charge. Look at my cultivation. Can I just call myself king? Elder Yuan pulled Zhuo Fan faster. This place must have some lurking snakes too. Though Zhuo Fan didn't care much, since even if the dragon had a tough time quelling the snake, he was the soaring demonic dragon piercing the sky. No matter the snake, I'll waste him the second he looks at me funny, humph. Zhuo Fan let himself be pulled. They arrived at the labor office's deepest part, a man-sized black hole carved into a mountain. People were coming from all over, like them, and entering the cave. Elder Yuan cried out, sigh, so few left outside. That means we're late and everyone's inside. So, since there's still more people coming over, we're not the last ones. Zhuo Fan raised an eyebrow. Elder Yuan shook his head. You can be late, but I can't, and pulled harder on Zhuo Fan towards the cave. Torches graced the cave with light from each side as people followed the tunnel deeper to an even brighter area. It was a large open space dug up in the mountain, tens of miles in range. Tens of thousands of people were already there, watching the two people on the dais. One was a girl with a scorpion drawn on half her face in purple and black. Her vile eyes and powerful vibe put her in the third layer of radiant stage. The other was a tall and sturdy man with a stubble on his face, wearing black and had a cold smile. His aura had Zhuo Fan take him for a fourth layer of radiant stage. So even the labor office is a den of monsters, Zhuo Fan said. Elder Yuan pulled his sleeve, whispering, they were all inner disciples casted out to the labor office due to a serious offense. Their lives are over, making their mood even worse. Don't taunt them, even if you have 4 executives behind you. They have an elder's protection, so don't get carried away and end up dead. Elder Yuan, what are you still doing down there? What are you muttering? The boorish voice got everyone to look at the savage face of the man on the dais. Elder Yuan shirked, then gave Zhuo Fan one last look before going up with a nice smile. Sirs, forgive my tardiness. Humph geezer, the only reason you get to keep your stinking rotten life is because you're too damn useless even as a training target. You just keep getting slower, the man glared. Elder Yuan nodded with the same smile. Thank you so much for your mercy, Sir Kui Lang, ha ha ha. Take out the roster already. I want to see the numbers, Kui Lang cursed, wretched filthy sack of bones. Using you as an ingredient will ruin my cultivation. Yeah, ha ha ha. Elder Yuan put on a lowly face, presenting the roster. Kui Lang went through a roll call, Li Ergu Hua Taishu. Kui Lang's booming voice rang in everyone's ears, showing off his power. The men being called raised their hands, while the hesitating ones earned a harsh rebuttal. Wrapping up with the names, Kui Lang's attitude never changed until he got to the last name. We have a newcomer, Zhuo Fan. Here, Zhuo Fan raised his hand. Kui Lang eyed him and snickered. He, as a newcomer, he must be taught the rules. Young Master Kui, please show mercy. Elder Yuan panicked and pleaded. Young Master Kui, 4 executives brought him with explicit warning to not be touched. Harming him will forfeit my life. Kui Lang balled his fists, ignoring him. What about executives? I've got an elder. Here, we all must follow the rules. Young Master Kui, those executives care very much about him, even going to the sect leader to petition for his sake. Would the young master's elder do the same? Elder Yuan's eyes darted everywhere as he pointed out. Kui Lang paused in thought. All the people here were sect rejects, with even their own masters seeing them as hopeless. They couldn't care less about leaving their lives to fate. The only upside to all this was paying their master a visit for some crumbs. As for getting the master to stick his neck out, it was a total no-no. With the executives behind Zhuo Fan going to such lengths for him, even risking going against sect leader's command, roughing him up would end with the culprit getting thrashed or worse. He didn't feel like getting the executives on his case. Kui Lang, since the kid is so important, it's best to tone it down for now, the girl reminded him. Kui Lang nodded and relaxed his fists. The risks outweigh the gains. Kui Lang turned solemn. I've called you all here for one reason. Today, the Asura Circle begins anew, and only the winner may leave this place. What? The crowd went wild. Is this a joke? Asura Circle is once every 3 years. Why is it being held again after only 6 months? Kui Lang snorted. Regardless of the time, the result doesn't change. Only the strongest can live. The losers will become the sect's resource for training. In this very cave, the first bell starts the fight while the second stops it. Is that clear? The crowd panicked, caught totally unprepared. They figured the gathering was for something they had planned, like some elder's birthday, but nobody expected it to be the Asura Circle. Did the inner disciples run out of target practice already? Elder Yuan was worried for Zhuo Fan and pleaded, Young Master Kui, Zhuo Fan has just arrived and does not know the cruelty of Asura Circle. Could he not participate? Rules are rules. I won't target him on account of those executives, but the rules state all laborers must participate or I'll have to answer for it. Kui Lang snorted. The girl eyed Zhuo Fan. Old Yuan, he's a 6th layer of profound heaven cultivator. He'll live, so don't worry. Kui Lang nodded. They're letting him in not because they don't care about the executives, but because Zhuo Fan will be fine. Elder Yuan nodded as well with a sigh. Twisted-faced Rakshasa Yue Ling, Black Yama Kui Lang, that's F-King bullshit. A man from the crowd pointed at the two on the dais and swore, I know the sect has no demand for target practices. With the outer sect promotion test coming up, you want your little sister to have all the materials to train. I'm reporting you to the sect. The man in the 2nd layer of profound heaven stage flew for the exit. Kui Lang snorted and a black wind shot for the man. He cried out in pain as he spat blood and slumped on the ground from the dizziness. The rest trembled in fear. Zhuo Fan squinted. Soul attack, but a brutal one at that. It must be related to his cultivation method, something insidious that has twisted his soul to such a degree. Zhuo Fan turned and watched everyone around him. With so many prime materials around, no wonder. Not like it's any of my business. Zhuo Fan's eyes took on a sagely light as he shook his head inside. A sound then came, that of a bell as Kui Lang struck the copper bell next to him. Let the Asura Circle begin. Deserters will be killed.